Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. This is our Tuesday show. We got a lot to talk about today. Hope you guys are well. Hope you had a great Monday. Mine was, guys, I've not been sleeping. Oh, the longest I've slept in the last 2 days is like an hour. And that starts to add up quickly. But I'm happy. So that's a good thing. And we're just gonna move on and see what the world has to provide us with today to laugh at. And dear God, there's plenty of it. Let's start with X, shall we? Twitter is now named X. And apparently this is the latest thing that's gonna kill Twitter. And I guess technically this one will, because the Twitter name is going away, basically. The little blue bird is dead. I still think they should have taken the blue bird and just put X's through his eyes, and then that'd be your X. But a lot of people are outraged, celebrating the death of Twitter. This is Twitter circling the drain. I actually read that stupid shit 2 days ago. I don't see the big deal. I'm still probably going to call it Twitter. Yeah, it's not a tweet anymore. It's a Zeet, Xeet. I saw a couple of people like, in some languages, the X is pronounced sh, so it's shit, is it? Like, nah, bro, that'd be sheet. That'd be sheet. And a sheet is a thing you put on a bed. Like, no, it's shit. Like, y'all are dumb. Jesus Christ, you're trying way too hard. Oh my goodness. Welcome back, Miss Nuts. I was worried about you. I didn't see you for a few days, and I'm glad to see you're back. I hope you're all right, sweetheart. I think Shoe on Head wrapped this up best, where she said, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have it open, but something to the effect of, I hate the new X, so I'm going to be here bitching about it. I'm like, yeah, that's what everybody's doing. Everybody's out there. This sucks. But they're all on Twitter doing it. Look, Twitter is my dumpster fire playground. I like it. I don't want it changed too much. I really, really still hate the long tweets where you can make them like however damn long you want, and I got to click on it to fuck you. But otherwise, just leave my dumpster fire alone. You can call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. He can call it. You know what I don't like about it though? And everybody wants to have X. Everybody wants to have some kind of X in their name or their brand, and I blame all the extreme shit from the 90s. It's extreme Doritos. Okay. But how come nobody picks like a C or a B? Nobody ever wants to be L. You know what I mean? I guess L would be, that's a little self-explanatory. How about O? You could be the big O. Wouldn't that be much cooler than X? Fuck off. Keldrick, thank you. A bunch of people mocking conservatives for having complaints about media. Then the same people turn around and bitch about what amounts to the name change for a platform. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that. But why is it? How come nobody ever picks a different letter? Pick a different letter. Mix it up a little bit. Not everything has to be X. And there's word coming out that this might end up running into some legal trouble because the Meta folks might own X as a branding for social media due to them having acquired somebody that went out of business and they still own I don't care. But it might end up being a problem. That wouldn't be a problem if they'd went with O. But nah, man, they had to go with, and O would have fit better. You could have made it, have the bird just turn slowly into a circle. Dumpster fire sounds like a nickname for hemorrhoids. I mean, I guess. I suppose so. Copyrighted the letter. Yeah. Shit, I should look that up and be able to tell you guys exactly what the hell I'm talking about. I don't care. That's the biggest problem. It's something to do with Meta and Facebook, and they own something. Fuck, what was that platform that went under that gave Ninja so much money? Fuck, I forget. But Facebook apparently bought it and owns it all. Starts with an M, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so there's that going on in the world. We'll go to the DeSantis thing next because this one is getting blown out of proportion. Mixer, thank you. That's what it was, Spoonie. Mixer. The DeSantis campaign came out and said that they're retooling, they're rebooting the campaign because they had some problems. Well, their problems all boil down to the fact that they can't manage their fucking money. Partially because Ron likes to fly on very nice aircraft. He likes private jets, and when he was running for governor of Texas, yeah, let's just pretend that didn't happen. When he was running for governor of Florida, Florida doesn't have a law against riding on private jets of friends. So he got to jet all over the state with no big deal. Like, oh, go ahead and do it. Well, now that he's in a presidential campaign, that counts as an in-kind contribution. He either has to pay for it or he has to pay for it. Those are the only two choices. And they're also racking up tons of bills having these major events with lots of staff for no goddamn reason. And they're just burning through money. And at this rate, they won't make it to the starting line. They're going to Kamala Harris this shit. And so they've decided to retool. They fired a bunch of people. A couple of people, more top aides, they left to go work for a DeSantis PAC. That one's not a real big deal. Those guys are still getting paid probably better because they can go do it through a super PAC. But what I don't understand is that the chick who's in charge, the one who oversaw all of this shit, she's still there. They didn't like demote her or anything, and she doesn't have any experience running a national campaign. She ran the Florida campaign, which, let's be honest, the only surprise about the Florida election was how much DeSantis won by. He was clearly going to win that election. So it's not like she even had to try that hard. It's not like she had to prove anything during that. But her name is Janera. Is that what it is? Janera Peck. And look, Ron, you have two problems. You have two problems in your campaign right now. One is Janera. You need to fire her. You just need to get rid of her. You need to bring in somebody who knows how to run a national campaign. And then your wife. Look, it's your wife. I understand you love her, but she has way too big of a role in your campaign from what I'm hearing. I'm not there, but she's basically a Hillary type. She's like hands-on. And she should go sit the fuck down. She should look pretty for photo ops. She should stand up for you, here and there where she needs to, but just go sit down and look pretty. That's your job. You're a politician's wife. And that's no different for a politician's husband, right? Nobody sees Mr. Kamala Harris. I don't even know his fucking name. I should know his name. What's the second gentleman's first name? I have no fucking clue. But nobody cares about him because he's not the candidate. Your wife loves you. She wants what's best for you, but she doesn't always know what is best for you. She's not a politician herself. She may want to be one day. I don't know. Maybe that's her ultimate goal. She wants to pull a Hillary here. But you need to shut her up. And you need, if you're serious about running for president, what you really need to do is surround yourself with people who can help you. Now, the one thing I do like that they said they're going to do is they're going to start running this as though they are the outside candidate, which is the smart way to go. He's known in Florida. His name is out there, but he's running against two titans. Let's be honest. And here's what I mean by that. I'm not complimenting Biden at all. Please understand that. But you were talking about the sitting president of the United States and the former president of the United States. The former president of the United States, who a lot of people think got cheated out of being a two-term president. That's who you're facing. You could probably beat Biden. That's no big deal because, that comes, sitting presidents lose from time to time, and Biden is a disaster. But knocking off Trump, you need something better than what you have now. There's no other way to put it. You need something better than you have now, because right now, the DeSantis campaign, I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like a social media thing, like he's an influencer, right? Like people know his name, and occasionally they see little clips of him talking. But what the hell's he running on? He's got this great well of stuff to pull from. Right now, and we'll get to this in a minute with the stuff the mainstream media is coming for. But DeSantis has caused a lot of stirs that hit the culture war. Things that he's been big on and bucked the system. Well, and by bucking the system, I mean, a little bit. But still, right now they have the one going on down there with the changes to the Stop Woke Act, where the new things, which it comes out that these new slavery taught slaves some skills that they were able to use to benefit themselves later that came from Black people, which might be the funniest thing I've ever heard, as the non-Black vice president is out there talking about how racist it is. Oh, fucking beautiful. We'll get to that later too. But you have all these cultural war issues. That's where DeSantis can spring ahead. Trump look, I don't know if you guys saw that DeSantis ad, which they say they didn't make because it was made by an outside group, but then it turns out some intern that worked for him might have been the one who made it and gave it to the outside group. I don't give a fuck. But it shows Trump over and over again, would you let a trans man pee in the men's room? Sure, or whatever the thing was. And embracing, some of this nonsense. And you have Ron over here who's fought against it at least a little bit, especially when it comes to kids. That's your win. That's your win. That's what got Youngkin elected in Virginia. You go to that's your only play, bud. It's your only play. I don't give a shit which one of them wins. I really don't. But the political game of it, I love this shit. And the reality of it is, if Ron DeSantis wants to win this, he's got to fight the culture war. He just has to. He's got to go all in on that shit. The other thing he could do, and this is a much riskier proposition, COVID. He could go after the COVID shit. And I did see a little bit of that today, so we'll see what happens with that. I just think the culture war is where he wins. The culture war is also where he gets his name in the news. People underestimate the old saying, the only bad news is no news. I'm paraphrasing that. I know I fucked it all up, but when people aren't talking about you, that's the only really bad press. Trump kind of proved that back in 2016 because it was nothing but negative press about Trump, and it helped him immensely, largely because the internet, that gave people something to talk about and fight back against. And that's a lot of what's been driving the campaign so far. It's not Trump going out there on the stump. It's he's been indicted again. You know what I mean? So it's still people hating on Trump, and he's got to get his name out there. If he wants any chance, if he wants to make it to, say, the Carolinas, DeSantis has got to embrace his culture warrior thing. That's your win, buddy. And again, I don't give a shit who wins. At this point, I just want somebody that'll beat Mr. Potato Head, because that guy has got to go. That guy has got to go. And I'm not sure either of these candidates are somebody I can support. Both of them, I got questions on Ukraine. I got questions about COVID. I got lots of questions. But I can forgive him this once. What I did now? Was it me? Oh, I'm not helping on Horde Night. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be playing with Satsu anymore. We're not mad at each other or anything. I just have other things I have to take care of. So the only way for me and Satsu to play together would be for us to play much later. Jack, my friend, how are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Living the dream.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, I already talked about X. Do you have any thoughts on Twitter being renamed?
No, but I assume there'll be more porn now.
You would think so. And I was just talking about the DeSantis reboot. Any thoughts there?
No, look, his campaign's not doing that hot, but I think he'll still come in as number 2. He might still beat Trump, but he's gonna have to change a lot, I think.
I don't think he has to change that much. I think one, he's got to dump his wife.
She too hot for him?
No, I don't mean, break up with her, but she needs to go off to the side. Ron is not the most charismatic speaker.
Yeah.
And you have this bright, shiny lady standing next to him with this big charismatic smile.
Uh-huh.
It just makes him look more robotic.
It kind of does. But I think she's the only thing keeping his campaign going.
I think she's probably hurting it, because I think she's probably the reason they kept his campaign manager, who should have been fired. How the fuck do you accidentally spend $8 million?
Lots of blow and hookers.
Unfortunately, it wasn't even that. It was these fucking campaign events, I'm using air quotes here, that were basically lavish parties.
Yeah, that was really poor management. That's somebody that doesn't understand politics well, and they probably came from the business world, because that's how you do shit in business. You're like, oh, look at how awesome we are. We have these extravagant parties.
And they're not Trump, who in his first election, he funded all that himself. He didn't have to worry about donors.
Yeah.
He could spend as much as he wanted to on that shit. And he's a billionaire, so it wasn't hurting him all that much.
Yeah.
So, they need somebody with national experience in there. And look, maybe they can turn it around with this chick, but just on the fact that she didn't realize they were blowing through that much money, she should be fired.
Yeah, that's poor money management, and that says a lot about her skill set.
Indeed.
And how much she's paying attention to it.
One thing I read said that they have all these different aspects to the campaign and they weren't talking to each other. Okay, if they're not, whose fault is that?
That's the campaign manager, because they're supposed to be
fire that bitch.
Yeah.
Is DeSantis' wife going to get the MILF vote? Maybe, but she could also turn off women who are like, she's too pretty.
She's prettier than me. I don't like her.
You can have her out on the campaign trail, just not as much as he does. If he was married to somebody as ugly as Jill, sure, have her there all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi Beast Boy, how you doing? All right, Jack, you're here just in time for my premier story of the evening.
Oh yeah,
the one I really, really want to talk about. Is this new narrative, and we're going to look at Mehdi Hassan talking about it. Mehdi Hassan being that shitbag that works for MSNBC. That's kind of redundant.
Yeah.
But he's the one that I saw where it's like, you know what, fuck it. I've had enough of this shit. But this was several places in the news, and not just today. Recently, I've seen this, Jack. Says this, there was a time when conservatives had substantive things to say. Now it's Barbie this, Dr. Seuss that, Bud Light, Mr. Potato Head, the skin color of the Little Mermaid. It's ridiculous, childish. It's pretty pathetic, actually.
I know you are, but what am I?
All right. So many things to unpack here. First of all, let's start with the obvious. In my opinion, the obvious of this is the culture war matters. Blowing it off like this stuff is irrelevant is, well, bullshit. And I want to point out that of the things that were listed there, only one of them is not aimed at children. Only one. The Bud Light. And even then, you could argue that Dylan Mulvaney is aimed at children.
Yeah, well, children are their realm. How dare you set foot in it?
And I've seen several people in the last couple of days, including, oh shit, what's that guy's name? Nuance Bro. Taking shots at people who are upset with the Barbie movie. Like, what did he say at the one point? I just enjoy the silly movie. There's more to it than just a silly movie. You can't
by itself. If it were a one-time thing, that's fine. But we're seeing a wider, larger narrative going, and that's worthy of addressing.
There's a bunch going on, and one, sorry, Mr. Mehdi Hassan, conservatives talk about a whole lot more. You just won't cover it in a serious manner. So let's be honest there.
Well, there's that, yes.
But this stuff does matter. When you're talking about the kind of media that's being fed to your children, it does matter. And acting as though it doesn't, it's just a way to dismiss it without having to actually deal with it.
Of course.
It is
the goal.
Yeah, it's dirty, underhanded bullshit to make you go, wait a minute. I mean, maybe the Barbie thing's not that big of a deal. Maybe it's not. Fuck off. Because it's not just Barbie. Have you seen that book? I think it was a Portland school where they got basically porn in their library for 12-year-olds.
Yep.
You have that other one where that chick came out recently. She's an author. I forget her name. But she wrote a book for, what is it, 11-year-olds? Maybe it was younger. But it teaches them about sex. And not just about sex, but how to have sex. It teaches them scissoring, Jack.
Yeah, and butt fucking.
And they're like, well, I don't see why you'd be mad about it. You just want to censor people. Well, I think the stuff going to kids should be censored. Absolutely. Because I'm not a degenerate piece of shit.
Yeah, it's called having standards and age-appropriate material.
And things like the Barbie movie, it's just a reflection of the other shit we're seeing. We are seeing a massive push to teach kids shit that they don't need to be learning. Meanwhile, Jack, if you want to talk to them about, how slaves might have learned skills because of slavery, well, then you're just a racist. Now, I want to watch a clip, and guys, we are on my crappiest internet, so we're going to be watching a slideshow with some video or with audio attached.
Before we get to that, let me grab a couple of things here.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you, Jordan250. I don't understand cloning. That makes two of us, said my clone. Will you tell him to shut up and get to work, or he's going to make us late? and thank you, Keldrick. My favorite part of this whole Barbie thing is that people are getting outraged that movie reviews dared to review the movie. Yeah. Right?
Well, I saw The Quartering. He's taking shots at Shapiro for watching it. All right, let me explain. Out of the last 3 weeks, this is Shapiro's second best video. There you go. That's the end of that's why. He did it for clicks. The same reason you do shit, dummy. But there's this kind of anti-culture war or anti-woke thing going on where it's anti-woke because of the Barbie movie. Suddenly you have all of these people like, the Barbie movie's pretty good. All right, well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But it's clearly meant for children, and the themes in it are pretty fucked up to be teaching kids. Anyhow, did you have another one? Or are we good?
Oh, that's it. Thank you, guys.
All right. So this is from the 5, and it's kind of long for what we actually need to see. It's like 3 minutes long. So we're going to jump ahead. They're talking about the Florida Stop Woke Act and the changes, because what you guys are seeing with the Stop Woke Act that they've been talking about the last couple of days, it's not the law itself. Thank you, Devin. Monkey Good Live, Monkey Good Live, Monkey Better. Well, thank you so very much. Appreciate that. The Stop Woke Act was actually signed like last year. This is updated recommendations for what's taught under the Stop Woke Act stuff. So when it has this stuff about slaves learn things that could be beneficial to them, that wasn't a new law. DeSantis got some shit for this yesterday, I think it was, because I didn't have anything to do with that. He's right. It was actually written by Black educators. Did you know that, Jack?
Yes. Black historians and scholars worked on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that until today.
Yeah, I saw one of them speaking out. Somebody had a clip on Twitter, and I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to be discussing, is how that they saw that clip. And that's Jesse Waters, I think, the host of the 5.
How long before somebody says internalized whiteness? Are we going to time that?
I don't think they say it on here. Thank you, Jordan. My late buddy Frank wanted his ashes to be put in his favorite beer mug. Here rests Frankenstein. Well played. Well played. All right.
Reconstruction, all the way up to the present. This should be taught in every single middle school, high school in the United States.
If they want to teach actual Black history, that's true. And that's what he's talking about, that this goes from pre-slave times, before the Atlantic slave trade, all the way through modern times. That's what the majority, there's only 2 lines in there in the whole thing about the slaves might have benefited.
Yeah, and they're not saying they benefited by being slaves. They're saying that they took the knowledge they gained while enslaved and used that to their advantage later.
Yeah.
You know, they made the best of a bad situation. It's not like they're like, can I get whipped some more so I could go and learn a new trade? No, that's they're trying to dress it up like in the worst possible light, but that's not exactly the intended meaning. The intended meaning is you made the best of a bad situation and you persevered, and it paid off in the end because you learned new things that helped you later.
And we talked about this the other day. There's a lot of stuff that you don't have to like it, but Black people were used to do this stuff. Massa wasn't doing it.
Yeah, so Massa wasn't out there making horseshoes. They had a guy being a blacksmith.
Yep, he wasn't out there planting the crops. He wasn't out there making sure watering was done. I mean, he might have oversaw, but he wasn't the one doing it. Yeah, it was a slave. They learned. Never mind. Anyhow,
this is the best of the best created by African-American scholars in the state of Florida. And Kamala Harris is either dumb and didn't read anything about it, or
you could have stopped right there. It's Kamala Harris. She's dumb.
She is pretty dumb.
But he's going to give us another one.
She knows the truth and has decided to lie to the American people about it.
No, she's just dumb. It is possible for her to be both lying and dumb, but she's just dumb.
I think it's disgusting. And why doesn't Kamala Harris, one, African Americans and white Americans to know that Black Americans did learn skills despite being enslaved. Why doesn't she want them to learn that?
Jessica, do you think that she read the whole thing and just decided to cherry pick something?
All right, now Jessica, the one they're about to talk to, she's apparently their liberal, Jack. I don't watch the Five, so
I don't either. They fired the dude that was on there, I think, Geraldo.
Yeah.
And they probably have a rotating cast of tards in there.
Well, this is their tard of the day.
I do think that she read the whole thing, and I think that.
Oh, it's her. Okay, I recognize those
Why
glasses.
are you lying to us?
She's got problem
Jack,
glasses.
okay. 100%, no joking. Do you think Kamala read the entire thing?
No, I think an intern read it, summarized it for her, and she's like, okay. Okay.
I don't think an intern even read it all. I think they skimmed, and somebody else probably brought this to. They probably saw the outrage on Twitter.
Probably.
And then Kamala decided to jump in.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, Tailfin, I would have sex with her, but I wouldn't try and fix her. This bitch is crazy. She's probably got a lot of cats. It smells like cat pee at her apartment. But real quick, thank you, Tyride. This is the age of deconstruction. Modern civilization is being unraveled while introducing insane stuff. They've been doing this for a while, but pop culture has helped with this. Look at Batman 89 with Lando playing as Harvey Dent. You know what? In Batman 89, I would have accepted that as Harvey Dent because at least Lando is a good actor. And Billy D really didn't seem to have much intention of doing a sequel to begin with. But they have been doing this for a while, and it has been infused in pop culture. I think it really picked up in the late 90s, early aughts. And like you saw some of it with like Captain Planet and shit like that, but it was much more minor. Now it's just straight in your face, beating you in the head with it. They do not even try and dress it up. It's just straight propaganda. So they've got the reins, and yeah, it's deconstructionism. I would totally agree with that. They are trying to tear the system down so they can rebuild it in their own commie image.
It's an incredibly complex piece. When you look at 191 passages, you have some good, and frankly, I'm just fundamentally uncomfortable.
All right, I want to pause there for a second.
Oh, she's uncomfortable, monkey.
There's some good. There's some. It's incredibly complex. Okay. There's only two lines, and the line actually repeats. So there's one line that people are talking about. That's it. One.
It's complicated, monkey.
It's an incredibly complex piece. Sure, if you're talking about the entire thing, which is what Jesse was just talking about, sure. But let's be honest about what Kamala's mad about. It's one goddamn line that happens to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I want to make sure we get her whole
look,
I'm uncomfortable.
They want to cherry pick history.
Yeah.
History is an ugly, uncomfortable topic.
Yep.
The majority of the time. It really is.
Look,
there's a lot of heinous things by today's standards, but the history of slavery is way more complicated. It is not an American phenomenon. And they also like to gloss over the fact that black people own slaves too. Right, Kamala and your family?
Let's really piss them off. Here's the real truth. There's a whole lot of black people in America today that benefit from the fact that their ancestors were brought over here as slaves. You benefit from it because otherwise you would live in fucking Africa.
Yeah, it's hot and it's a shithole and there's lions.
Yep. You would not be Kangs. You'd be starving to death living on UN rations. So knock it off. That doesn't mean slavery's good. It just means sometimes there's consequences. We shouldn't be like, well, maybe if we brought more slaves over, their ancestors. No, that's not what that means. It's just pointing out a fundamental fucking truth. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we don't want to talk about, like Oki said, the Portuguese and British buying slaves from Africans to bring over here because they were the losing tribe and they were destroying them. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about the Arab slave trade and how we fought to stop that, by the way, against the Barbary pirates. But hey, don't look at history. Just listen to the 1619 Project Selective History. And yeah, there are black people who own slaves right now. Exactly. Boko Haram, anybody? Yemen, still full of slaves. We're starting to see that with a lot of the Latin community coming up north here. There seems to be some human trafficking going on, which is modern slavery. Asian countries do the same thing. I'm kind of sick of this glossing over it. Like Ebony said, the Native Americans, several tribes had slaves too.
Danger says, damn near everything bad has some positive. Life is complex. Dems are not fair. Thank you, Tall Person says, Hoy, can't watch live, watching full later. Happy National Thermal Engineer Day.
Oh,
to you as well. All right. Let's listen to her being uncomfortable. Her panties are in a little twist.
Yeah. Well.
Good. And frankly, I'm just fundamentally uncomfortable with the sentence that blacks benefited at all from this.
But they did.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about how the Romans had slaves, and a lot of those, when Rome fell, a lot of the people that were slaves then went on and did other things, and they didn't just stand around with the thumbs up their ass going, I don't know what to do now. How stupid do they think black people are that they didn't learn any skills while they were
what do you
in between whoopings?
What the fuck do you guys think they did after they got out of slavery? Do you think they went to school?
No, they waited for a glorious white person to come along and tell them how to survive.
You know what it was? You know what it was? It was a job training act. That's what it was.
Yeah,
that's what fixed everything.
There was AmeriCorps back in the day. No, it's fucking stupid. They were left to their own devices. You know what they knew how to do? Farm. They knew how to do blacksmithing, barrel making, candle making, whatever the fuck else there was to do at the time, because they had to do it. And now they're like, hey, I could get paid doing the same shit I was doing.
But she's fundamentally uncomfortable saying that. You know,
no, she's fundamentally uncomfortable saying that black people can learn. That's what she's uncomfortable with.
You're probably not wrong. I was watching Patrice O'Neill today, some one documentary about him, and then some other things that he was talking about. He talked about this quite a bit, and it just happens that this is on the day that I saw this stupid shit. It's okay to be uncomfortable. Truth sometimes will make you uncomfortable. It doesn't make it not the fucking truth.
Exactly. And Understatement said it a minute ago. Repeated work teaches you skills, doesn't matter how. Yeah, and you have good incentive to be good at it when some asshole's trying to whip you from behind. Yep. Like, I'm going to learn how to do this right so he doesn't hit me. So, yeah, good incentive there. They were probably the best farmers around, let's be honest.
Absolutely. It's why they were able to go back and work for the same fucking plantation. Now, that doesn't mean the plantation owners treated them well. Before
of course not. They were scumbags who enslaved other human beings. That's reprehensible on every level. But
who did they hire? Did these racist motherfuckers, because let's be honest about what they were, did they hire just white people to go work in their fields? No, they hired the freed fucking slaves.
Yeah, because they knew how to do the job.
Because they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they didn't have a choice. Real quick, thank you, Tall Person. And some for you, Jack. Happy National Tequila Day. Same to you, buddy. Have a drink on me, because I don't drink. I'm an angry drunk.
All right, let's get back to fundamentally uncomfortable here. She makes me fundamentally uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, Danger's pretty well nailed what I was thinking, too. It's a modern version of slaves don't know how to take care of themselves if they're freed.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what Mississippi said in their secession paperwork.
Yep.
That we can't free the slaves because they won't know how to take care of themselves.
It was a common anti-abolitionist statement.
Yeah. Not only did they think the abolitionists were wrong because they wanted to keep slaves, they also thought that it was the white man's burden to take care of these people because they were below the white people on the chart. It's disgusting mentality.
Some of them didn't even think that they were equally human. That's just real. Look it up, guys. I'm not making that shit up. And unfortunately, yeah, that thought is still going on today. All right.
Yeah, it's gross how stupid they think black people are, and it's you can tell from these elitists. Like this bitch isn't poor. She doesn't live in a marginal neighborhood on any stretch of the imagination. I doubt she sees more than 3 black people a day in her life. But
Dude, Gutfeld's the
that many.
darkest man she's ever seen.
Yeah,
in person.
Juan Williams. She's like, I don't want to touch him. Oh my god. I just find it reprehensible that they are so morally pure that they don't think black people can pick up a trade. Fuck you.
Thank you, Keldrick. Look at all those anti-racists being racist. Not being racist. Sorry. Not being racist is what I meant. I forgot it's only racist if a conservative says it. Indeed. All right. I believe it or not, this isn't even what we're here to talk about.
No, I'm sorry. This just enrages me. This like lowered expectation shit. Like
that's the problem, though, is that so much stupid is said here. It's why I skipped most of what he said, because it's pretty much, the gist of what we talked about going into it. But she's about to say some really stupid shit. So I want to get back to her.
And it made me think, as someone, obviously I'm not black, but I'm Jewish. Would someone say about the Holocaust, for instance, that there were some benefits for Jews, right? While they were hanging out in concentration camps, you learned a strong work ethic, right? Maybe you learned a new skill.
Did you ever read Man's Search for Meaning? Vic Frankl talks about how you had to survive in a concentration camp by having skills.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
A Jew said it. That sucks.
You had to be useful. Utility kept you
but
alive.
We're also talking about middle schoolers here. And there's a lot of concern about what age people are prepared to understand complex issues. I'm not sure that 12 is the right age to start hearing things like, and when you were enslaved here in America.
What about gender?
They can learn about gender ideology?
Just
look at that face. Look at that face when they bring up the gender ideology thing, which is the perfect thing to bring up there. Hey. I'm not sure 12-year-olds can get the nuance of slavery was bad, but people still did pick up skills that they were forced to learn. We teach kids as young as preschool about gender ideology. We saw that, Jack. We saw that, remember, with the puppet, and she's like, I didn't even tell them to ask that. Oh, that just shows that we've been teaching them well. These were preschoolers.
For those of you that don't know, Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, spent several years in Auschwitz and Dachau. So he wasn't just talking out of his ass.
And if you don't know what Dachau and Auschwitz are, you really should read some history.
Yeah, your life makes me sad.
Talk about lives, sad lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, she rolls her eyes at the notion of, hey, what about teaching him gender? You don't think that 12-year-olds can understand that, hey, you can pick up some skills being forced to do something, but you think that they can understand a man being born in a woman's body?
Somewhere there's a small Chinese kid laughing at us in Mandarin.
No shit.
Like, I assembled 5 iPhones in 10 minutes. Fuck off.
They're talking about teaching actual fucking history. And she's like, I don't think that they can process that. And they're like, what about gender ideology? The next thing she says is, let me finish. And that's where it cuts off. I don't know how she finished, but that eye roll, that look at that face she's making.
Yeah, it's the face of an angry, lonely woman who's not been pleasured by a man in a significant period of time.
But see, the kids, man, they can teach them all kinds of kids understand. Fuck, Jack. Sometimes at 2 months old, they know that they're in the wrong body.
Oh my God. Yeah. Look, kids are not as dumb as people like to portray them, but they're also stupid. So because they don't have any life experience. So middle school is age appropriate to teach them about the horrors of slavery. It's actually not that bad. But they're not old enough to make decisions about cutting off limbs and organs. That's a different ball game altogether.
These people.
It's disgusting how stupid they think everybody is.
And I just want to point out that I started this whole segment pointing out that the left is now saying conservatives don't care about anything real. It's Barbie. It's Mr. Potato Head. It's Dr. Seuss. What about actually making sure kids know history?
Yeah.
You people in the press are out there telling everybody that this is fucking racist. It was designed by black teachers, black educators.
Yeah, who are telling the truth, which these days is kind of difficult to do.
And I don't remember if we see it in the clip there. I think just briefly he mentions it. A lot of what Jesse Waters says at the beginning there is talking about the resilience of black people to have gone through all of that and learned something useful that they could take later into life. We got people these days, Jack, that if somebody catcalls them, their whole fucking world is destroyed. They can't do anything anymore. We have the 8-hour work shift at the coffee shop. Oh my God. I just can't anymore.
I can't. It's too hard. 8 hours? Oh my God. We live in a weak society.
Some of these people were beat even if they worked well. Depend on the massa. Some of them were horrible, mean drunks. And they took that, and when they were finally free, made a life for themselves. And this fucking bitch can't pour coffee for 8 hours because, oh my God, I don't understand what we're supposed to do.
And somebody might misgender me. Oh, the horror. Shut up, you baby. People used to get their ass kicked routinely. And you're out here like, yeah, life's hard because I got to show up for work on time.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about her, Miss, what was it? Time blind? Is that what she called it?
Yeah, my time blindness.
Fuck off.
Look, it's super hard. I should be able to come in whenever I want.
I noticed Mehdi Hassan didn't bring up anything about, Joe Biden. Did you see the newest stuff with Joe Biden?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Turns out Hunter, at least this is what's going to be testified in front of Congress under oath, that Hunter would sometimes get his daddy on the phone to talk to people.
Yep. That's coming from Hunter's business partner, the Devin guy.
And now they're going, well, he was never involved in Hunter's business because it used to be he never talked to him about business.
Yeah, that's what Biden himself said. I've never been involved. I've never talked to my son about his business. He said that shit several times. It's all on video.
Yep. And now they're trying to, oh no, he never was involved in the business. Little bit different there and it's funny, Jack, because unlike some of the other witnesses that have come out where they're like, oh, that's bullshit. They're not saying that this time. They're not saying that he didn't make these calls.
Well, I'm betting, I think it's Devin Archer's his name. I'm pretty sure he's got some of this shit recorded.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
That's why. Because a couple of these phone calls I know were recorded by one of the associates, the one that was helping with the Saudis or whatever. But it's not this guy. That was the guy with sounds like burlap sack name. But I bet Archer's got some of this shit recorded too. Devil's
Advocate says them goalposts are practically on conveyor belts. You're not wrong, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, they just move them down the post. Conservatives are talking about that, Meaty. How long ago was the Mr. Potato Head thing? Like over a year ago?
Yeah, I think so.
And it was barely a blip. But see, this is what they do. This is what they do. They fucking lie to you. See, all they care about is this nonsense with the Barbie movie. Yeah, they do care about the Barbie movie. But I don't know if you know this. It's possible to care about more than one thing.
No, not for dumb Republicans. You mega ultra right wing fascist.
So yeah, our press is at it again. Not shocking, but that is the new narrative, guys. That they're only out there looking at these stupid culture things that aren't even really. They're not even important.
I don't know why you're looking at that. It's not important. You should just look the other way. Obviously.
weird. There's a lawsuit coming up over, I forget which state it was, where they outlawed having children at drag shows.
Yeah, they're doing one of those here in Ohio, so it looks like it's probably going to pass too.
It seems to me like there's more being talked about. Fuck, Jack. We've talked about a ton more, and I dare say that we fall on what is called conservative now, whether we want to or not.
Yeah.
So,
well, bitching at lazy fuckheads known as Republicans, they ignore that bit, and you're just an ultra right wing MAGA supporter monkey. You, the man who never voted for Trump.
Never. I did not vote for him either time. I did not vote for him in primary or general.
You do not like him with green eggs and ham? Wait, that's something else. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Trump indictment could be coming this week. Yeah.
Oh, probably is. There's a rumor about the Trump indictment that they want to get it out this week so they can kind of force this one through before December.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. I mean, it's a legal proceeding. That shit can be drawn out for years by a good lawyer.
It depends how much the judge hates Trump, really.
All right. I want to move along just a little bit, Jack.
Moving along. Oh,
do you know the name Aquilino Ganell?
No, but it sounds like a really cool villain name.
I mean, you got it right on the villain part. Aquilino here, he's the guy who told us that January 6th was worse than the war in Iraq. I usually say Iraq, but for some reason, Iraq. Sometimes I like saying Iraq.
You just like saying Iraq. Woo, I'm awesome.
I always thought, I mean, we grew up with the Iraq Z.
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that thing? Yeah.
Yeah, a buddy of mine had one of those.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet cars back in the day. But anyway, we got some new information about Mr. Ganell.
He's really a gazelle wearing a man uniform?
No. But I want to read this. In a victim impact statement made in court in May, Ganell told the judge that he was, quote, bleeding from both hands, had a maimed foot. He was hit on the head, sprayed with pepper and bear spray. I don't know how he knew the difference. Beaten, punched, pushed, pulled, and assaulted by many other rioters as they tried to gain entrance. Now,
was he in the same room as AOC?
Yes, basically. New video footage has surfaced of him on that day near the end of the day.
Oh.
Now, I just want to remind you, he has a maimed foot apparently in this video. He is the officer that is highlighted right here. I do want to tell you this too, guys. We've talked about her before. There was everybody thinks Ashley Babbitt's the only one who died that day. More people died that day. It's just true. This what's her name? Boyland, I think.
Something like that. She's
she,
the one that had either a heart attack or was beaten to death. It's a little unclear.
She was crushed. The latest that I've heard, but I haven't looked into it. Yeah, Roseanne Boyland. Thank you, Lil Mo. This is our officer right here, highlighted with his maimed foot, Jack. Watch the limp that he has on that maimed foot.
Looks like he's walking pretty normal to me.
I'm going to throw this into chat because I know you guys sometimes see it really, really choppy. Yeah, he's walking fine. He's walking with no issues.
It's because he was manning up for the men so they didn't lose morale, right?
He's got some bloody hands, according to his statement. There's no issue with his hand. Look, he's no wincing or anything, just taking off. By the way, he's got on that mask, so that pepper and bear spray should not have affected him at all.
Not if he was wearing that mask properly, no.
I'm going to stop right here because this gurney that you see right here has Boyland on it, and they do CPR, which, by the way, he claims he did, and he's not involved in the CPR at all.
Shocker.
I have a lot of questions about this because her being on the gurney and everything like this, I do wonder if her family has at least a chance at a decent lawsuit against this police department for
Wrongful death.
yes.
Maybe. I think they probably are looking at that a lot harder right now.
After this video, I certainly would, because I'm like, wait a minute. Why is she on the gurney right there? I mean, it makes sense, but they pull her in after the rioters are begging, please get her in here. She needs help. They finally drag her in. If you guys have seen that video, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But now you have all these people, and I guess I kind of get it. I mean, they did what they could, but I feel like they should have been doing this down the hallway a little bit.
Maybe take her out and get her in an ambulance. There's lots of entrances to this building.
Yeah.
They could have taken her to another end of it. She's on wheels. I mean, just wheel it out. You could run too.
But I did throw the video in there if you guys want to watch the rest of this. This guy's moving around with no issues. No issues at all. There's no sign of any injury on this motherfucker. Shocking from the guy who claimed that it was that it was worse than Iraq.
Yeah, well, we knew he was a hyperbolic sack of shit anyway.
Yeah, a liar is the actual word there, Jack. Liar.
Yeah.
And this is why we don't have more video, guys. Once again, I want to state this for the record. I think what happened on January 6th was fucking retarded. The people who did actually hurt officers, whether the officer had something on or not to protect them, should go to jail for assaulting police officers at the very least, Jack.
Yeah, but everybody else that was just like the shaman guy was just wandering around. That's a ticket.
Yeah.
A trespassing ticket. And you're not allowed to go back in. What do you fucking do?
Yeah, most of what happened there that day was mostly just people standing around, and that goes inside and outside the building.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, the violent ones should be punished,
yes.
But the feds don't want to punish their own. So and a couple of dum-dums followed people like Epps. So yeah, I mean, if you were out beating on cops, yeah, you should be in trouble for that. You shouldn't have been doing that. But if you're just wandering around, that's a ticket at best.
That said, the reason we're not seeing more of the video is because of stuff like this. Because the more we see of it, the more we're going to realize just how much they fucking lied that day.
Oh, absolutely. And that was the intention, which is why we told you not to go. And we lost viewers for that because they're like, no, we got to go out there and get arrested in the Fed op.
Let's.
I'm not bitter about that or anything. I just wanted to point out that we were right.
We usually are.
Yeah. Real quick, though. Thank you, Keldrick. Well, clearly this non-injured clone of him is his evil twin hell-bent on framing him. Yeah, clones are up to no good half the time. You got to remember, they know they're the clone and they want to bump off the original.
That's a great time to remind you guys to hit the like button, and if you can, donate to Jack or myself if you're so inclined and have the ability. We really do appreciate it. Jack, I want to move on to I don't want to say more fun story because it's actually kind of a fucked up story, but a more fun story.
Oh, okay.
Former Kentucky co-ed goes viral for celebrating mugshot portfolio on Instagram account. This former Kentucky co-ed was summa cum rowdy.
I bet she comes loudly. I mean, what?
A Bluegrass State bad girl has gone viral for a wild medley of 11 mugshots and the crimes that accompanied them after the images were posted on Instagram.
So they're all dumb, aren't they? All her stupid teenage shit.
Maybe. Some of them are like, she should probably still be in prison.
Oh. Yeah, but she's pretty and she gets pretty privilege.
Rayanna Bell Brock, 23, has been busted for everything from shoplifting to terrorism.
Jesus.
And it appears to have enjoyed many of her misadventures, judging from the booking images. This is one of them right there. This is her, not that. They're just some pictures of her. I don't care. But let's get down to them. This is the top one here. This is wanton endangerment of a police officer.
What'd she do? That's not one you hear very often.
This one is violating the terms of her probation.
That's a shocker. Still kind of cute there.
This one is for terroristic threatening and stalking.
That's an ex-boyfriend who's probably really happy she's in this picture smiling. So you'd be like, look, Judge, the bitch is nuts.
This one here is her favorite, where she was busted for contempt of court and libel.
Wow.
This one is unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and criminal mischief.
Somebody was driving a golf cart around without permission.
This is failure to appear at a police station or courthouse.
Yep.
This one is for disposing of a firearm.
She hanging out with Hunter?
Apparently. By the way, she's only 23. Look how old she looks in that picture.
That last one is pretty fucking rough. She's partying a little too hard.
I would have guessed 30s easy on that picture.
Yeah. Yeah, that first one we saw where she's all cute and perky, I would have guessed like 21, 22. This one, though, yeah she looks mid-30s here. She is not aging well, and I guarantee you meth is in her future if she doesn't calm down.
This one's for theft of a firearm.
That she later disposed of illegally.
In 2021, she was charged with stealing a taser and hat out of a state trooper's car in Virginia.
Jesus. They'll never catch me. I'm too smart.
Yeah, but she's gone viral, Jack, because she is proud of her future in the trailer park.
Yeah, well, when you're queen of the trailer park, look, her looks are obviously fading. The early set of photos, I would have said I would have banged her under my alias, but as we went on, no, because she's clearly ugly enough, but the crazier she gets. This person is highly unstable, I suspect.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny, and so we had to look at it.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy.
I thought what you did when I first saw it, like, oh, these are probably, misdemeanor bullshit. Theft of a firearm. Well done.
Yeah, illegal disposal of a firearm.
Thank you, real quick, JB. Thank you so much. Seen both Oppenheimer and Sound of Freedom this weekend. Both were great movies. Would recommend. I'm hearing some things about Oppenheimer that make me. I'll see it when it's on streaming service that I have, but too many people are using the term Nolan film, and I understand he directed it, but Nolan's problem is that he needs somebody to rein his ass in. Anyway, Jack, I'm sorry. What were you saying there with her criminal mischief?
Oh no, I draw the line at grand theft auto. Whatever unauthorized use of a vehicle, that's the plea down from like grand theft auto.
Yeah, she stole somebody's car.
Yeah, I don't really want to be involved in your felonies, honey, because your bail's too high. You do some mischief shit, like you were spray painting graffiti or something. Yeah, I could afford your bail. Beyond that, no. Yeah, you're not getting me on the hook for bail for a big offense.
Shit. Dude, terroristic threats and stalking, like you said, ex-boyfriend. No. I don't care how pretty she is.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker right there. I got enough crazy in my life. I don't have time for this shit. I'm way too old for that.
Oppenheimer sounds like it's far too long to be what it needed to be. Well, it depends on how much of Oppenheimer's life they go over. Oppenheimer led a really interesting life. And I mean, the dude was a commie. Let's be honest about what he was. And if they go through like the commie hearings and stuff that he went through, I can see that easily being 3 hours. If it's just about the Manhattan Project and Los Alamos, again, I could still easily see that being 3 hours.
My understanding is they don't go past the dropping of the bombs because they don't show that part.
Going at that would have been an interesting part to show, because for those of you who don't know, there were a lot of scientists involved in this who the first bomb, as much as they thought it was horrible, they thought, yeah, that saved lives. And then the second bomb, they were like, whoa, what the fuck are you doing? So That would have been an interesting part to include, but I guess you got to cut off somewhere. Again, it's a Nolan film, and that's what worries me the most about it. Because seriously, that motherfucker needs reined in sometimes.
Real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. Clearly, this chick is the player character in Knights of the Old Republic, so the more dark side choices she makes, the less fuckable she becomes. I understand that reference. Never played the game, but I understand it. So so that's quite possible. Plus, the more she does this shit, the rougher it's going to be on somebody. Being in prison takes a toll on people because of the stress, and she's probably doing some really crazy drugs.
All right, speaking of people doing crazy drugs, this is probably my favorite tweet of the day. Look, I realize that there's people out there scaring you about the climate. Please understand that they're retarded and have not read anything other than somebody else's tweet on it. I promise you that. And that's what we get here, Jack, from a former naval aviator. That's what it says in her thing here. Former naval aviator. Okay, they probably let you fly a cargo plane with somebody else actually doing the hard work, because there's no way you're smart enough to have done that. She says this: people don't understand the impact of climate change. Take a look at this map. Anything above 90 degrees Fahrenheit means that outdoor activity is likely to be deadly. 95 plus, and you cannot survive outdoors, even if you're in the shade doing nothing. That's what she said. If it's 95 plus degrees outside and you're standing in the shade doing nothing, you will die. What?
Well, you just feel like you're dead.
That's fucking retarded. As somebody who enjoys 90 plus heat, Jack, I can assure you that's fucking wrong.
Yeah, you're a giant weirdo, though.
As somebody who lived in Virginia and in the summertime would wear pants on 100-degree days, that's fucking wrong.
Look, I don't know how we're not all dead, because at some point a heat wave has hit probably every inch of this country except Alaska.
If this was true, we would have had millions of people die already this summer.
Yeah.
I would have died when I was on vacation.
Yeah, but think of all the people that are dying now, Monkey. They're probably not important like citizens, but think of the illegals, Monkey. They're just dying in the shade up there.
Now, they have added a context thing to this. The OP has mistaken wet bulb temperature, what she thinks these figures show, with wet bulb globe temperature, what they actually show. The military has used wet bulb global temperature for decades as a work/rest guide. You work less above 90, but you definitely won't die in the shade. This whole wet bulb thing, I told you guys about it the other day, because this, like I said, somebody writes a dumbass tweet and somebody reads it, and suddenly it becomes, you can't go outside if it's 90 degrees. The fuck are you talking about? People do this all the time. They've been to Jack the other day, down there in Death Valley. They were getting ready to set a record. The record high temperature is 133 degrees, and they thought they were going to hit 134, and they didn't. But you know what they did have? Dumb motherfuckers coming to stand at the thermometer that shows the record at 133 degrees, no shade, getting their picture taken with it.
What?
None of
those
them
were
died.
dead people. They were already dead, Monkey. Those were ghosts.
It was 130 degrees and people were out there. The fuck are you talking about? This wet bulb temperature is just the new El Nino, the new what are the other one? The polar blast. They hear a term.
It's a polar vortex.
Sorry, polar vortex. Polar vortex. The Arctic blast is what it was. they just hear a term and suddenly if we know what we're talking, you don't fucking know what you're talking about.
No, they're experts, Monkey, because they heard it somewhere on the internet. That
I
makes
also-
them an expert.
I also thought it was great because we're watching this on CBS Morning News, and like it's 133 degrees in Death Valley. It's Death Valley.
Yeah, they called it Death Valley because people die there, and it's a known desert, you dumb shits. What'd you expect it to be?
Isn't it like the hottest place in North America?
I think so, yeah.
Or at least often is the hottest place in North America? Because it's a fucking desert? No, it's really hot. Yeah, it's fucking desert, you idiots. Messes, that's why Africans never go outside. Yeah, that's why you've never seen a picture of an African out in summertime because they can't. They die even faster with black skin, Jack. I don't know if you knew that.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
think the melanin would help with the...
Nah. Because that draws heat, so they die even faster. Yeah. By the way, if you are outside and it's 90 degrees, make sure you stay hydrated. People who die in that kind of weather usually die of heat stroke, and you'd probably be okay if you took precautions. Get in the shade when you can and drink. Most of these idiots...
Water.
Water. Most of these idiots... Or tea. I like tea, actually.
Ugh.
I just get hydrated faster with it, I feel. But either way, stay hydrated. That's what gets most people is dehydration. So it is warm this summer, Jack. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
There's a heat wave going on.
Nuts.
They happen often.
Yeah, they cycle around every couple of years.
The Navy used to let this woman fly jets, Jack, or some kind of airplane.
Well, it says a lot about the standards in the military.
Phew, good God. Hopefully she wasn't the one doing any kind of important work.
This is super hard. What's this button do? Don't press that. That's the... Oh, shit. We just launched a missile.
More like we just dropped our cargo. They did not let this chick anywhere near firepower.
I don't know, Monkey. They're pretty dumb these days. Who's not dumb, though?
That bitch putting that in her profile, I guarantee you, if she was in jets, she'd have put it in there.
Probably. Maybe she flew like the little amusement ride helicopters.
Frosty Glass, thank you so much. Arctic Blast, Polar Vortex, all the Mountain Dews, indeed. Wait for the code reds. Wait till you get the code red.
The Baja one is everybody's favorite. Real fast, thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. Bit off topic, but I did some digging on the Greg Abbott water break thing. The articles are saying he's banning water breaks. What he did was remove forcing breaks. Companies can still give breaks.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yep.
But that doesn't matter. Look, they lie in the media.
They gotta scare you.
All right, Jack, this next one, I didn't even bother looking up the story. I just love the headline. U.S. influencer works as emotional support stripper in Ukraine. An Instagram influencer who shipped out to help Ukraine amid the ongoing bloody war with Russia has found her niche, aiding soldiers and volunteers as an emotional support stripper.
Yeah, I bet she does a lot more than that. We're gonna need an
I
emotional
guarantee
support
she does more
hand
than
job.
A hand job.
I'm not putting it in that whore.
Good for you, I guess.
She doesn't look like she tests very often.
No, she doesn't. Yeah. She kind of looked like she said, "Me love you long time."
Yeah, bitch looks like she could suck the chrome off a trailer hitch.
Yep. Golf ball through a garden hose.
Yeah.
Anyhow, all right, this one got me in a little trouble. I'm not reading it or the story, but woman slips, plunges to death from cliff moments after boyfriend proposes. And I simply said she could have just said no. Apparently that was insensitive. Apparently I'm going to hell for that one, Jack. And I would just like to say I am not sorry in any way. This is really where I was going to bring up the Patrice O'Neill stuff that I've been seeing, Jack, because it made me laugh thinking that. It's horrible that this woman died, of course. But my immediate instinct was she could have just said no. She didn't have to jump the fuck. And it made me laugh. So I put it down. And many people laughed at the joke. And thank you guys for those who did. But some people got offended by it. And like, is that really so offensive that it's even worth saying? Are we that pussyfied?
Yes.
I guess. It's black comedy. It's dark comedy. Sure. And apparently we're not allowed to have that anymore.
No.
We're not allowed to make jokes about things that, I mean, there's things that you just can't joke about. Bullshit. Patrice O'Neill said this once, Jack, that the idea of telling a joke is not to make everybody laugh. It's to make, if you have a room of 100 people, it's to make 50 people laugh and 50 people go, oh my God, what's wrong with you? To have 50 people enjoy it as a joke and 50 people be outraged by it. And I kind of like that mentality.
Yeah, I usually shoot for a 20-80 split.
Whichever.
If I get 2 out of 10 laughing, I'm pretty good with that.
I hope people laugh along with me. But if people get outraged, I think you need to look inside about what you're so outraged about. Why are you so pissed off at a joke? I mean, that's not good for your blood pressure, honestly. Can you imagine what my blood pressure would be if I had no sense of humor?
Oh my God. Yeah.
My fucking veins would have burst open by now.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Learn to take a fucking joke and not, look, I don't care about if people didn't like that one, but overall and in general, we kind of a rant I've done before, but we need people to get back to having a sense of humor. And even if you don't like the joke, understand that it was a joke and move on with your fucking life. But instead, everybody's got to be outraged about everything and tell the whole world why they're outraged about everything. But why? Why do you got to be so mad about everything? Laugh. Fuck. Laughter is the best medicine. Isn't that what they say, Jack?
That's what they tell me. I personally think Oxy is, but
Well, you're probably right about that. I've never tried Oxy. For me, the Xannies, man. Ralph, where can I get some? No. It lowers your stress levels. That's what laughter does. Are you done?
Yeah, so I just had to cleanse the room of Ralph males.
Fair enough. Yeah, learn to laugh more. And if you don't find it that funny, look, there's some that go ahead and be offended. I don't give a shit. But if you realize it was supposed to be a joke, let it just be a joke and move on with your life. I kind of want to watch this. It's a very short clip. Sorry, it's little face on the big head. We got to watch a little Charlie Kirk, but it's not for Charlie.
Is Dick Tracy finally going to catch him?
Well, apparently Dave Rubin was on his show, and they cut part of it out, which is interesting. But what they cut is even more interesting. So this is the end of the show.
I'll be honest, it's also a lie when DeSantis goes after Trump and says he was pro-Fauci and all that. That's just not true. But
well, he gave Fauci an award on the way out.
We're out of time.
We're out of time. Shut up.
They cut that part from the show, apparently.
Oh.
With him, countering. And again, I do think this is a place DeSantis should go if he wants to win this. You can't separate Trump from Fauci, especially him giving him an award on the way out. You can say that doesn't matter and that that the pros of Trump outweigh the cons of Trump, but you can't just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, look, Trump's got an easy out on this. Like I got snowballed and buffaloed by these people that were supposedly good advisors.
Yeah.
I got bad advice. I trusted people that I thought were in positions of authority to do their job properly, and they lied to me.
DeSantis camp did use fake photos of Trump hugging Fauci. That is true, 100%. And shouldn't be doing that either. All of this fake shit needs to just stop.
Yeah, it's not productive.
Nope. And it's how do I want to say this? Stop acting like liberals, fuckers.
Yeah. Stop trying to destroy each other. You can criticize each other, but destroying each other, nobody's gonna win then. What are you doing?
All right. Did she open that back up for comment? Oh no, she deleted it. Oh, you little bitch. Too bad. I still got it right here. You can't stop Monkey because Monkey does too much Twitter. All right, we're gonna have to read it on my timeline. It's much harder to read that way, but this chick had a very long post about this. It's this one right here. Cis women need to shut the fuck up about whether or not trans women can have periods. And she went on to say that with her HRT, her hormone replacement therapy, she gets period-like symptoms. So colloquially, that's the same as having your period.
Is this a person of African American descent?
You can't tell because they have an avatar, not a picture.
I was gonna say this relates to one of the videos I put in.
Oh, did it? Does it?
Yeah.
We'll have to watch that in a minute. But you don't get periods. You might be getting constipated because of your medicines you're taking. But once again, for those who still want to argue with me about this, because people will argue with me, no, Jay, they get the symptoms. No, they don't. No, they don't. You know what leads to those symptoms? The uterus.
Shedding of the lining of the uterus matters to period. What? No, that doesn't make any biological sense whatsoever, Monkey. That's crazy talk.
The way they've been doing this, where like, I feel like I have the period, is, I got these horrible cramps, and they grab their stomach. Period cramps come from the uterus, fucker, and you don't have one. And without one, you don't have period cramps. You need to poop. I'm getting tired of telling people this shit. It is simple. It's not women telling you can't have a period. It's biology, fucker. That's it.
Bigot.
I know. All right. I have a super chat. I think I have two. I saw him, guys. I'm just on a roll. Keldrick, thank you. It is insensitive. You're going to hell, but it was still funny as fuck. I agree. It was funny. Dark Resurrect, thank you so much for that feminist $12. DeSantis and Trump destroying each other will just entrench their sycophants, and they won't vote for the other. It's exactly what we laughed at the Dems for doing to Bernie, and here we are 5 years behind them. Yep. Well, it's also what we saw in 2020. The never Trumpers, man. And they went out there and they got vocal as fuck. Touched some kids and got very vocal about how horrible Trump is. And just fed the Biden machine. And yeah, look, it's fine to attack each other over real shit. I disagree with this. This is what I don't like him for. By all means, call each other names. I don't give a shit. But at least keep it real. You know what I mean? Don't go out there lying and shit. Because then you know what's going to happen? We're going to come around to the general, and I don't care which one wins. You're going to have Democrats going, look what they did. And they're going to be repeating lies that were told during the primary. Yep. And then when they're called out for it, they'll be, that was what Trump said, or that's what DeSantis said. You can't blame me for spreading that lie. That was their lie. But the overall goal, the lie's out there. Anyway. Elon changed Twitter to X. Yes, he did. And I really hate not having the bird there because I'm a creature of habit, Jack. And so when I go to click on my toolbar for my Twitter, I'm like, oh, there it is. Got a stupid fucking X. By the way, Elon, that's the X you went with? That is such a boring fucking X. It's blocked going from the left down to the right, and then the other one is just a line.
Yeah, he was telling people to submit theirs, so he'll pick the best one. That's just some regular usable font. That's not anything special.
Going back to the election for just a minute, Jack, this is a poll that came out from Rasmussen, and I just want to remind everybody that I am blocked by Rasmussen polls.
It's still funny.
I got blocked by Rasmussen polls because they put out a tweet where they basically said that what they do is irrelevant, and I pointed that out, and they blocked me. Whoopsie. But anyway, 2024 National Republican primary right now, Trump sitting at 57, DeSantis at 13, Christie and Pence both at 5, Scott and Haley and Hutchinson at 4, and Ramaswamy at 3. All right. I have no trouble believing Trump is at 57. I could believe that easily, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I do not, in any way, shape, or form, believe that Pence and Christie are both sitting at 5.
No.
Ain't no fucking way.
Not after what Pence did the other day on that Tucker interview and the amazingly bad nothing burger that is Chris Christie.
Hutchinson sitting at 4? No. I don't believe you.
Not a chance. I think they're trying to keep Vivek down because I think his numbers are a lot higher than most of these guys.
Yep. I think the DeSantis number is probably low, and I think I would almost guarantee the Ramaswamy one is low. Yeah. I bet he's probably closer to 8 right now.
Probably.
But see, this is why I'm blocked by them, because I would be this is bullshit. There's no fucking way that's true.
Yeah, I'm not buying this poll for a second unless they interviewed all Democrats. And they're like, what do you think these people are at? Trump at 50, Pence, he's got a recognizable name, 5%.
I think this is a way to demoralize both DeSantis and Ramaswamy.
Probably. Real quick, thank you, Alan. He says, sorry, all I have, guys, for now. Broke my collar. Next time. Dude, don't worry about it. I hope you're feeling better. That sucks. Yeah, appreciate it, but yeah, don't put yourself out on our account, and hope you feel better, because that's a sucky one to break.
Be careful with your arm. Do not let it heal. Let it heal. Men, we have
collarbone. Every time you move, you're gonna.
Yep. As men, we have a bad habit of being like, "Oh, it feels a little better," and using it. Don't fucking do it. Just let it heal. Yeah, I know it's hard, but trust me, you don't want to make it worse.
Yeah, I hope you feel better, man. I hope they give you some good pain meds for that at least.
What else do we have today, Jack? I don't care about that one. We already talked about that. Oh, yeah. We got to talk about this one from Mohammed Safa. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. I just want to point out the name as I read this. Cannot worship the child in the manger while drowning the child at the border.
Fucking hate this.
All right, let's talk about that. They're not related, fucker.
Yeah, I don't remember Jesus breaking and entering. Just saying.
This baby, if it drowned, God, I hope it didn't, Jack. And I mean that sincerely. I didn't do it. You didn't do it.
Parents did it.
Abbott didn't do it. The parents did it. They're the ones that put this baby in danger. That's not my fault.
No.
This is, somebody pointed this out, that in any other circumstance, we would call this child endangerment.
Yep.
And here we're like, no, it's an immigration problem. Shut up. Fuck right off. And I ran into this with something else earlier today too, Jack, but I need the anti-religious folk out there to do me a favor, or in this case, a Muslim. Stop speaking on other people's religion to try to shame them into acting how you want them to act. It's disrespectful. You don't mean it. And it just makes you look like a giant twat. you should let the baby come in because you like Jesus. Meanwhile, most of the time they're like, fuck baby Jesus. God damn it. I did it again.
Yes, you did. I know Evolve's in the audience too, so he's got that.
Fuck.
I can hear him clipping it already.
But I'm not wrong on this point. You don't give a shit about baby Jesus. So why are you trying to use it against people who do? And especially in a way that doesn't even make any fucking sense. You can't just go, oh, baby. Because at that point, you might as well like, if you don't support baby Jessica because she fell down a well 20, 30 years ago, however long that was, then you can't like Jesus. Like, I don't even fucking remember Jessica.
I doubt Jessica remembers the incident.
I know when she came out, her arm was all bandage funky. That's all I know about that.
Yeah.
No, you got to. All the babies are the same. No, they're not. Fuck off. I do care about this kid. And you know what I think? I think those people right there, how many count? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 fucking adults that I can see in that picture. They're fucking child murderers if that baby drowned.
Yep.
Fuck them. Let's be honest. Anyhow.
Real quick. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Sorry, Jack, but this is the best I can do. Just had to spend a lot of money on bail after breaking some guy's collarbone. Well, I appreciate it, Frosted, but please stop doing that. I know you think that's what the YouTubers are telling you, but I don't think that's what they're telling you. I think they just want you to buy T-shirts. Don't listen to Ethan anymore. Teddy Fresh is not worth it.
This next one comes to us from a professor at the Torrens University of Australia. And he says this, I'm going to read it and then show you what he's talking about. A tad simplistic perhaps, but effective nonetheless. And by a tad simplistic, he is being grossly understatement. Capitalism as explained through Lego.
What?
Oh yeah. This is our Earth, and it has one of the big green squares. These are Earth's finite resources, and there's a bunch of Legos laying there. Go on, create infinite growth. I see what they were going for. You see, many of us point out that wealth is not a finite resource. And this is supposed to be, of course it is, because there's only finite resources. Except for us coming up with different ways to use resources, services that are provided that aren't resource intensive, resources that we can either reuse or make more of, like trees, Jack. Trees, wood is a resource we use a fuck ton of.
Mm-hmm.
And we can replant it.
What? No, when did this happen?
Now, I'm not sure how you would represent that with a Lego, a regrowing thing. I mean, you pretty much have to have infinite Legos there, which would take this and, well, just destroy the whole concept. Yeah, this is Stephen Hall, a professor, Modern Money Lab, Torrens University, Australia. And apparently he wrote a book, Economics for Sustainable Prosperity. And he looks like somebody you should make sure is never near your kids.
Oh my God, he looks like special needs Moby.
That guy looks like he's touched at least a handful of children. Do you guys have pedo vans down there in Australia? Because I bet he owns one.
Yeah.
It says candy on the side, and there's never been candy inside of it unless it came with the kid.
Which case, there's probably a body and some candy.
I fucking hate commies. They are so fucking stupid. And I really hate them trying to be intelligent through memes or comparisons like that. I mean, this is as bad as the Jesus drowning Mexican baby.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if they know this. I mean, while Jesus probably had dark skin, it's not because he was Mexican. Throwing that out there. You're thinking of Jesus.
Yeah, that's your cellmate.
Does that even count as pseudo-intellectualism? It's communism, so yeah. Plus Glass, thank you. He measures children by the handful. Yeah, you notice he went to Legos to make his point, right? He doesn't have candy in his van, but he's got Legos. He drives a Lego van, Jack.
Ugh. That sounds like if there's a traffic accident, everybody's walking out with injuries.
You know what? Doesn't make any sense with his comparison there. Where would your resources be in communism?
In another country.
Thank you so much, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist $12. I can explain this with Legos. You build the thing with finite blocks. Then you see what you can take away and repurpose for something else until the original is irrelevant. Then recycle the irrelevant blocks. Yeah. I mean, you still can't do the tree thing perfect, but that would be a decent way to do it.
You can teach. Sorry.
No. We just run out of things in capitalism. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You could teach communism with Legos. You build a little house and then slowly take the blocks away and be like, the state's going to need this.
Yeah, you just take them all away.
Yeah, and there's no food in the house because it's communism.
And you make them stand in line for a brick.
Yeah. And then there's not enough bricks for everybody. So you got to get there 4 hours early.
Oh, man. Why is communism still around?
Because people are utopians at heart and they don't want to do anything because they're lazy. That's why utopia always appeals to people, because there's so many people out there that are lazy.
I hear you, but I think it's different. I think there's a more nefarious thing keeping it around.
Satan?
It's similar. People like Hassan. These people who are quite clearly capitalists who go out there and preach communism to stupid people.
Yeah.
And the stupid people are like, yes, that sounds right. Obviously, he only has all that money because he wants to give it away one day altruistically.
Yeah, because they took it from me. Oh, yeah. You got your two kinds. You got your utopians that think everybody wants to give their shit away, and then you've got the people that think they're owed.
Yep. And so they preach that, and people love to hear that they shouldn't have to work. So you're right on that part of it. But I think it would mostly die off if people weren't getting rich by telling people that they should do this.
I don't think it'll ever die off because there's too many people that think they're owed something or that are jealous of what other people have. They're always going to buy into this idea. It's like the same people that fall for get-rich-quick schemes.
Well, yeah, you probably know. I mean, that's basically what communism is.
Yeah, like I'm going to be a lesbian dance painter who's going to teach broken children about life, man. No, you're just a dreamer who doesn't want to work and doesn't want to get grounded in reality and actually achieve anything.
Look at Bernie Sanders, the man who basically made it okay to say you're a commie in the United States. And fuck you for that, sir. This is a guy who becomes a multimillionaire by telling people how they should go commie light. The only people who make money in communism are the ones selling it.
Yeah, the people in control are the ones that profit.
Yeah.
But you can sell the idea of everything will be equally distributed to everyone else, man. That appeals to a lot of people because they don't want to work. Look at Slab City. They're all on fucking welfare. They sit around and make stupid little shit out of like trinkets and stuff. They don't do anything. They're parasites. And most communists are fucking parasites. But you're right. The people that sell communism, they're the ones that end up on top taking everybody else's shit.
I'm serious, Jack. I might start a communist channel on Twitch. Completely anonymously.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. You'll make a lot of money.
I'll make a ton of money. And I don't even have to believe it because they don't. All I got to do is repeat the same stupid shit. Occasionally attack Trump.
Yeah.
I could make a killing. I got this voice. Have you ever heard Hassan?
Oh God, yeah.
Sounds like somebody farted into a fan. So
looks like he smells like that too.
He really does. I could take over. And then at the end of it, be like, nah, I was just kidding. I'm gonna keep all this money. Fuck all y'all.
You get a big pile of it. Yeah, just be like, fuck off.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'm an altruistic. What is it? Altruistic millionaire. What do they call it? Altruistic entrepreneur.
Yeah, something that makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna make all this money so I can do good with it. And then at the end, I'll be like, yeah, I am gonna do good with it. I'm gonna get myself a giant fucking house. You should see how good it is.
Oh, God damn it, Frosted.
What up?
He sent an article that would prove us both wrong.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
We'll get it tomorrow because we still got all yours to do. And I'm not sure I finished mine.
That's what she said.
I did. I was busy today, man.
I was busy, but not doing shit online. I had a lot of real life stuff going on. As soon as I start doing stuff for the internet, somebody sent me a link I didn't see for 40 minutes.
I did spend. Okay, yeah, I got everything. I spent maybe 2 hours with the middle little today.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Her dad was working. Her mom had a doctor's appointment, so got to hang out with her. It actually was probably a little bit longer. We watched Frozen, and then we watched Tangled, which I hadn't seen much of before. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually better than I thought it was. And then she wanted to watch Ariel, so we started watching that, and that's when her mom got here. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We were just hanging out.
You want to hear about my little adventure today?
Sure.
It's totally pointless and stupid, but it enraged me.
Just so you know, I'm going to mute myself while you're telling this. I am listening, but I'm going to refill my drink.
I don't really. I was just going to rant about it, whether you were listening or not. The audience is listening. So I got a package in the mail today. It's a board game I ordered. I was like, that's a really good price. I can review this and add it to my collection because it was a variation of a game that I really like. It's like, all right, cool. And it said the contents were sealed and all this. And I've been looking forward to it for like a week and a half. Finally fucking comes in. The only wrapping they put on it was the effectiveness of a brown paper bag around the box. It's a board game. They didn't put it inside of another box. They just wrapped it like that. So, of course, the post office destroyed it. Like, the end was crushed, shit falling out. I was pissed. So, I set up a return, and I go to print out the thing, and it won't give me the label right away for some reason. It gives me a QR code, so I can go to the post office and have them print it out. The fucking retards at my post office didn't know what a QR code was. It took 3 employees standing around looking at it, going, I've never seen a barcode like that. And I'm like, you people are fucking dumb. It's a QR code. Well, I don't know what that is. You can't use this here. No, well, you need a return address. Yeah, you scan that and it'll print out the label for me. No, that's not how this works. Yes, that's exactly how it works. The directions are on that paper. I understand it says that, but you don't know what kind of unreliable site this is from. I was like, it's from eBay. eBay. And they're like, yeah, but it might not be a reliable site. So then I had to explain what QR code was. And they're still looking at me like, that doesn't sound like a real thing. So that they're acting like I'm talking about some futuristic tattoo you're going to get into things. So I had to go to a different post office 20 miles away, where I know they know what they're doing, and then they did it, and I got it sent back. Still haven't gotten my money back, even though I mailed it today, which really pissed me off, because that was like $35, and I'm really mad about it. So I had to do all that shit, and I walk in, I'm like, you guys know what QR codes are, right? And the dude at the counter's like, yeah, duh. And I'm like, well, they did at this other one. And he's like, oh, well, they're stupid. And I was like, yes, thank you.
QR codes have been around for like 20 years.
Yeah, they've been around for ages. I was like, well, how do you not know what a fucking QR code is, especially when your job relates to it? I'm not paying DoorDash to do it. And besides, I needed the shipping label. and you have to scan the QR code for that. And they kept telling me to do it on my mobile device. No, I printed out the QR code and took it in, and they just scanned it and gave me the label. Boom, done. No cost to me.
I'm sorry. QR codes are 30 years old. They were invented in 1994.
Yeah, we're old. No, they weren't old, Dangerous. They were all younger than me. And that's what really enraged me. I'm like, you're just stupid. How do you have this job? Why are we paying you $15 an hour to fuck up my mail and then break shit and then be like, I don't know what a QR code is. Oh, I was so angry.
I was asked original Little Mermaid or the new one. Don't ask me dumb questions. There's only one Little Mermaid. Throwing that out there. All right. Sorry for calling you dumb.
Yeah, so that was my day. I was very angry about the whole situation because I had to drive 20 miles out of my way to go. Because there's another post office in between, but I was just going to leapfrog that and go straight to where I knew they won't fuck it up. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. You don't know what a QR code is. And I bitched about that the entire drive, and there's nobody else in the car with me. I looked like a raving lunatic.
Are you going to call like the postmaster and be like, yo, that you guys need to fix that office?
They're not going to do anything.
I bet they would. I bet they'd be in trouble or they'd be mad.
No, because the way it works is that when you file a complaint with the post office, it goes to that post office first. So their postmaster will just be like, this is nothing burger, delete. That's how it works over there. I've been through this rodeo with these clowns before, and they are really fucking dumb. But the postmaster protects all their dummies because then they have an excuse why they don't get anything done.
Sorry. All right. Yeah, you should just avoid that place. The part that gets me is you said they were younger than you.
Yeah. There was nobody 40 or over in that office.
I mean, late 30s, I could still see. How old are we talking here?
I think the oldest one was probably 32, 33.
Oh, damn. Yeah, they should know. The QR codes, and especially QR codes for some reason seem to be really being pushed lately.
Well, the Chinese have been using them a lot for like their COVID passports. And social credit system. So
yeah, which is coming here. So that makes sense.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking anyway.
Guys, brought to you by you. Hit the like buttons. And if you would, donate to Jack or myself. Never feel like you're obligated to do that. Just if you're enjoying the show and you have some money that you wouldn't mind parting with, you can donate to us. The links are in the bottom of each video. They're in the doobly-doos, the descriptions. That's what it's called, Jack.
Oh, is that what that's called?
Yeah, it's also in your YouTube chat. So, all right. Oh, yeah, this is fucking shocking. Who didn't see this coming? Wait, I thought all of these were supposed to be anonymous. That all of Hunter's art was supposed to be sold anonymously so that it couldn't be that anybody knew that they were giving money to a Biden.
Well, look, leaks happen, man.
Exclusive, Hunter Biden's gallery sold his art to a Democratic donor friend who Joe Biden named to a prestigious commission. Nuh-uh.
What?
Nuh-uh.
Why would he do that? Obviously, he's an art lover.
Let's see. Insiders learned the identities of two Hunter Biden friends who were also buyers of his art. Elizabeth Hirsch Naftali and Kevin Morris. International gallery documents reveal the sale of Hunter Biden's art brought in $1.3 million. One buyer, identity unknown, spent $875,000 on 11 Hunter Biden artworks. He's not even selling the originals.
Well, I think he sold some originals, but most of them are just prints.
Yeah, he's selling the prints.
Well, that's a great scam. So that's better than the Clinton Foundation as far as scams go.
On the campaign trail, Joe Biden pledged that there would be an absolute wall between his official duties and his family's private business interests. That's impossible. The Biden White House repeatedly made references to that wall when responding to questions about fledgling art career of Hunter. In 2021, when a New York art gallery debuted Hunter Biden's paintings with an asking price as high as $500,000, the White House said that Hunter Biden's team had a process for carefully vetting buyers and that their identities were only known to the gallery, not to Hunter himself. The message seemed to suggest that Hunter Biden's art patrons came from rarefied universe of collectors who had nothing to do with the hurly-burlies of politics. All right. Have you seen Hunter Biden's artwork?
Yeah.
It looks like a bad Picasso ripoff.
Yeah. It looks like the type of art you'd see at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it in a hotel hall. People just walk by it. It's not the worst thing you've ever seen. It's not great. It's not even memorable. It just exists. Nobody
is spending that kind of money on Hunter's bullshit art without knowing it's Hunter Biden. Without them knowing that Hunter knows they're the ones who bought it.
Yeah. No, this is the type of stuff that if he wasn't related to somebody in politics, you'd see him at like a flea market selling the shit for $30.
And he'd have to put it on clearance.
Yeah.
Here's some of Hunter's artwork. Let's switch to that page. Share this tab instead. There we go. Look, isn't that pretty? It's some circles on a yellow background with black dots all over it.
I think I vomited once and looked at it when I was hung over, and it looked like that.
$225K, Jack.
No.
$225K. Here we got some cubism kind of bullshit. Sure. This one doesn't tell us how much it went for. There we go. Some splotches. This looks like some shit you didn't clean up off the counter.
Yeah, that looks like he was making a mess while doing drugs.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be flowers. But this is what people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for. And you're telling me that they are doing that without them thinking that Hunter's going to do something for them? They just think, ooh, I got a Hunter Biden original print. Yeah. I feel like the bullet points in the top covered most of this. They know who did it.
Of course they do.
And they expect favors from Dad because Hunter can't offer them anything.
Yep.
The only thing Hunter can offer them is access to Dad.
Yep.
I listened to the Krasenstein debate. Remember I was going to listen to it and they canceled it? Well,
yeah.
I came back from vacation and somebody sent me the link to it. And I forget who did it. Thank you. But I got to listen to part of it. And they're arguing about Hunter being on the board of Barisma. And the apparently it's Krasenstein. So I've been saying it wrong. I'm not going to change.
You've been saying it like Frankenstein.
Apparently. But the Krasensteins, their contention is that Hunter, they put him on the board because lots of boards just hire somebody who has some kind of knowledge and ability to help, how they say it, direct the company. And they were asked, well, what expertise did he have? And they're like, well, he's been in business and he's a lawyer. Is he a practicing lawyer?
I have no idea. I don't think so. I didn't even know he was a real lawyer.
They admitted that, yes, part of it was that he has that name. Like, no. That's all of it. The only thing Hunter has to offer anybody is his family name. And they said this, Jack, well, getting on the board, having him on the board, you just get people who have big names. No, you get people who have big names who can do something for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And-
apparently he's got a BA from Georgetown and Yale's where he got his lawyering degree.
Yeah, and how to get into Yale?
Daddy's name, I assume.
Daddy's name. Hunter's a fuck up, man. He's always been a fuck up.
Yeah.
There's no reason to put him anywhere except to have Daddy there. His dad was a powerful senator. His dad then becomes vice president. Now he's the president. And we're not talking like the Trump kids who grew up, in that business. This is a guy who gets a job out of fucking nowhere. And Biden once said, I didn't even know he had that job till after he had it. Bullshit. He goes over to Ukraine with his daddy. And then right after that trip, he gets hired by Barisma.
It's just amazing coincidence.
Big ass coincidence. Put him in rehab and jail. Absolutely right, Nuts. That guy's a fucking asshole. We know the crimes that he's committed.
No, he's a good boy. Didn't do nothing. Just a couple of misdemeanors that he was obviously jammed up for.
Yeah, forget that whole gun in the trash can thing.
Yeah, all the lies, all the drugs, pictures of him with hookers, funding things that are very questionable, like human trafficking. Look, he's just a mixed up, crazy kid in his 50s.
Have you heard the new bullshit about the laptop?
Which one?
The one that says the laptop's not even real, you guys. You see, the laptop is actually a laptop that somebody bought, and then they hacked Hunter's phone.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
that sounds believable.
And then they took that laptop for some reason to Russia. Not lying. This is what that the laptop was in Russia.
What?
I don't know. And then somebody who looks like Hunter Biden and signed Hunter Biden's name took it to that Delaware shop. And yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's way too complicated and really stupid. What a complete fucking waste of time.
You think Hunter was sending those emails from a cell phone? Bullshit. Anyhow, yeah, that's their new thing. That it's Russian though, Jack. See, it's Russian. It was in Russia for Russian things. Russia.
Yeah, Russia.
I heard that I was listening to that during the Krasenstein thing, and then I heard another guy talking about this nonsense. Yep, it's all just hacked materials off of his iPhone. And you see, Jack, it happened at the same time that the DNC was hacked, you see?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Hillary had that private server. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is fucking dumb. That's not even a believable lie. You know, a bunch of people are going to buy into it, though.
Oh, sure,
But,
sure.
Oh, it's Russia, the magical enemy that we never have proof did anything.
Hacked would still mean it's his. True. And they were saying, oh, the files have been what's the word? They tampered with. I explained this to you guys before. The only tampering you can see on that hard drive is that they took some of the files and put them into folders. So they're not in the original folder they were in anymore. So like they would make a folder that said videos of Hunter being high with hookers and move videos of Hunter being high with hookers into that thing. Nobody took anything off. There's no evidence of that, which you could find. There's no evidence that anything was added to it that wasn't done organically. But yes, it's tampered with.
No, these are obviously brilliant Russian hackers.
Yeah.
Who
yeah.
They changed, like Oki said, they changed all the metadata. They photoshopped Hunter's face in there. It was all an elaborate ruse that would have taken like 7 years to construct. But they obviously Trump and Russia.
These are the same people that say the election wasn't stolen, but Hunter's laptop is a conspiracy theory. Yeah, no. It's from them, so it's not a conspiracy theory. It's truth.
Yeah. When
that's
they
how
lie,
that's how it works.
Truth. Yeah.
Fucking assholes. All right. New York City EMS worker stabbed by repeat felon after she attempted to treat him. Well, no good
That's
deed.
a terrible idea, by the way, guys.
On Wednesday, a 25-year-old female emergency medical services with the Mount Sinai West FDNY was stabbed multiple times by her 48-year-old patient, Rudy Garcia, while in the back of an ambulance. Rudy Garcia. Am I even allowed to ask?
Nope.
Was Rudy here legally?
Oh, you asked. Oh, no. You said the secret word. Legal.
According to the New York Post, Garcia is a convicted felon who was arrested at the scene and arraigned for attempted murder, while the woman was transported to the hospital suffering significant blood loss and nerve damage in her thigh.
Good thing she was near an ambulance.
No shit. Assistant District Attorney Lauren Breens said the man stabbed the woman several times while she attempted to aid him, which caused her serious physical injury from stab wounds to her chest, arm, and leg. Video taken after the stabbing obtained by the Post showed the woman collapsing to the ground and screaming as her fellow EMS workers tended her wounds and tried to prevent Garcia from doing more damage. Shoot him! Oh, sorry. When being taken into custody, Garcia told detectives that the EMS team was fake and had kidnapped him. So this motherfucker was high as a kite.
Or paranoid schizophrenic.
The report notes that Garcia has 2 prior felony convictions after he headbutted a police officer in 2017, as well as 3 misdemeanor convictions. Most recently, he was found with a knife in his boot at the subway station in June. Spokesman for 1199 SEIU, United Healthcare Workers East, Brian Lloyd Bollard, y'all need a better union name, man.
Right?
Told the Post that violence against EMS workers is all too common. Yeah. This is why they don't send EMS into like dangerous situations. Remember in Chaz, we're like, why would they send the EMS in there? Because you wouldn't let the cops come in and make sure it was as clear as it could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, it sounds like she's gonna make it. That's cool.
Yeah. Hopefully she recovers fine.
And hopefully they throw the book at that motherfucker and he actually goes to jail. Because all too common in New York, something like this. I mean, did he really want to kill her? I mean,
who knows?
He didn't stab her in the heart or the lungs real bad. So, I mean, is he really that bad of a guy?
Well, he'll get out with no bail, I'm sure.
Sure, of course.
Don't want to be racist.
He was just stealing bread.
Yeah. He thought she was full of bread and he was trying to cut it out.
And I'm going to guess, being that was a Post story, that if he wasn't illegal, we would have been told.
Yeah, probably. But they may not know his status yet.
Look, I'm sorry. These days, when I hear something like that, that's where my mind immediately goes, because Trump, seriously, dude, this was your 2016 thing. Why aren't you all over this shit?
Yeah.
This is what I said the other day. I don't see a reason to vote for him because he's really not pushing anything like he was in 2016. It's probably my biggest complaint with him in 2020. The crime from illegals is still happening. A lot of it. This was your mantra, dude. Get back on that soapbox. Anyhow, I'm on my soapbox, so he doesn't need to be on his. GOP lawmakers slam Biden administration's proposed clampdown on home water heaters. Oh, God, are they going after gas water heaters now?
Oh, it's like you read this.
Well, I saw somebody asking Corinne, asking her, like, what are homeowners supposed to do? Just rebuy everything? And she said something to, hey, look, it's not till 2029. And in the long run, they're going to save money.
No, they're not.
By the way, you don't save money going to electric from gas.
Not at all. No.
Gas is cheaper by a long shot. Trust me, Jack. My house is heated, and the only thing we don't have gas is a stove. Our stove is electric. And I think they only did that because they wanted the glass top.
Oh, yeah.
Which I do like. I like our glass top stove. But it would have been cheaper to have gas. Glass top stove. Anyway. Water heaters could soon be the subject of much more stringent efficiency requirements if a recent Department of Energy proposal that has been criticized by Republican lawmakers goes into effect. In a draft rule unveiled Friday, the Biden administration is seeking to compel most electric water heaters to deploy heat pump technology and gas-fired ones to use condensing technology. Comes months after the Biden administration ignited a firestorm over feared stovetop regulations. No, bans. Call it what it is, shithead.
First they came for the stoves, and I said nothing. Then they came for the water heaters.
After Albany lawmakers enacted controversial first in the nation gas stove ban in New York, which they said was not happening. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. They still said it even as they were voting on that. Like, you lying assholes. We could see it.
The Biden administration pretended that they weren't even trying to do that when we knew they were, and they said, nobody's doing it. This is just, it's kind of like the Mr. Potato Head thing. They're just blowing shit out of proportion. Except it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Green New Deal? The Green New Deal is going to remake your entire home, including how you get energy in the first place. Why do they want to switch to electric, Jack?
So they could shut your power off and climate change.
Kind of right. But see, if everything's electric, then they can force everybody onto solar. If you have gas, you can't use a solar panel.
Yeah, we could have sweet rolling brownouts then, right?
You can, absolutely.
Oh boy.
You can limit the kind of the amount of power that people can use for their CO2 production.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're over the limit for electricity use. We're going to have to cut you off for the rest of the month. I don't care if it is January and you're cold, old lady.
They really want to burn wood stoves? Oh, God. I can't even imagine. I haven't seen what they've said about wood stoves, but I'm sure they think those are just fucking the worst of the worst. Today's actions, together with our industry partners and stakeholders, improve outdated efficiency standards for common household appliances, which is essential to slashing utility bills for you lying shitheads. Oh, I'm sorry, Jake. That's just bullshit. Electricity is more expensive than natural gas. It just is. Sorry. Where are we? American families and cutting harmful carbon emissions, which is the only thing they care about. And again, the way they'll do that is they force everything in your house to be electric, and then you're on their grid. You can put solar panels on your home. You're running off the windmills, and when there's not enough power, they can turn it off. Or when there's too much CO2, they can turn it off. That's all it is.
Faithless pretty much nailed it. My utilities were slashed from $150 a month to $300.
Exactly.
Just like the cost of gasoline.
So yeah, fuck these people, man. God, why do they gotta lie to people? Just say what it is. Say you want to do it. I mean, because nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll pay more for carbon emissions.
No, because almost nobody in the press is going to cover this, and they can call it a conspiracy theory, and then they force it through, and it takes place a few years down the line, so they could just be like, oh yeah, well, you knew this was coming.
All right. Oh, we kind of talked about these people briefly earlier. I'm glad you have a story on it. Teachers Union collects information on parents who create problems by opposing sexually graphic books for children. That's a real headline, guys.
Yep.
Opposing sexually graphic books for children. That's a problem. A New Jersey teachers union has used a reporting tool for educators to monitor parents and parental rights groups who've challenged obscene library books or caused other problems. The tool encourages teachers to report problems in a way that avoids them being on the public record. They know they're dirty.
They don't care, though.
They know they're fucking dirty. You don't have to hide shit like this if you're not being dirty.
Look, you could call it dirty. They call it just gathering information on potential problem people. Maybe these people are terrorists, Monkey. They are intellectual, stochastic terrorists.
This is a quote. Participants in online hate groups, notably New Jersey Fresh Face Schools and Team Protect Your Children, have been encouraging their members to file public information requests of the school district seeking personal contact information, compensation records, and email correspondence. The New Jersey Education Association warned teachers in its resources for members. All right, let's stop right there. Because the majority of what they're requesting is the email correspondence. And these motherfuckers, we that's just too hard to do. Because we've seen this in other districts. There's one in I want to say it's in Nevada that's been really big. And they're making these requests, and the school board, who's been told you have to give this shit up, they're like, but it's too hard. It's really hard for all you gotta do is open your fucking email and copy and paste.
Sounds like a lot of work.
All you got to do is open your email, go to the last one, and CC it to the motherfucker that needs to see it. It's literally that easy.
I don't know, Monkey. That sounds like it could be difficult.
And these guys, yeah, we can't do it.
No, I mean, that could take minutes.
Please use this form below to help us identify issues in your district so that we can provide our staff and leaders with resources to maintain integrity and honesty in our schools. The union's online reporting tool instructs. Oh, God. You guys are doing a dirty thing here. Keeping your shit off the record. Because this is, you're a public employee. That's shit. You can't be doing this.
Look, they're not up to
matters.
anything nefarious at all, Monkey. I don't know how you can imply that. These are wholesome people that have not been caught touching kids a lot lately. They're not trying to brainwash your kids or give them pornography or anything weird like that. They are the bestest of the bestest. Bigot.
Be sure to specify the type of issues you're dealing with, whether it's aggressive book banning, anti-inclusion activity, organized political groups, or any other problem you are facing.
Aggressive book banning.
Aggressive book banning.
What does that mean?
Look, there's some books that some people are probably being overly aggressive with. But most of what we've seen are sex books for kids.
No,
Why
those
aren't
are
you
educational materials.
Where's your resource for, this is a book in our library that's not appropriate for 10-year-olds. It's not appropriate to be teaching 10-year-olds how to scissor with illustrated instructions. Have you seen that picture?
Yeah, it's fucked up. But there's some teachers like, little scissor. And they get all sexually aroused by it, fucking perverts.
The picture, I won't even bring up on screen because we're on YouTube.
Yep.
And they have this for children. This is a show that's not meant for children. But because a kid could have come across it, I wouldn't even do that, Jack, because I don't have a way to make sure kids wouldn't be seeing this. And it's got drawn sex for kids. The one even teaches about masturbation.
Yep.
And it teaches you that what they say, some people masturbate with their hand or other soft things like a pillow.
That's not creepy.
This is for like 10-year-olds. They're prepubescent. What the fuck is wrong? Never mind.
You know what's wrong. They're a bunch of fucking perverts.
They really are. They are, and I fucking hate them. And they're out here like, no, this is perfectly okay. We're here for the kids. Yeah, we know you're here for the kids, motherfucker. That's the problem. And this is why the culture war, what we began talking about, is important, because it's not just a movie here and there. They are going after kids hard.
Oh, they're hard, all right.
There's no
yeah, there's a difference between saying we are here for the kids and we're here for the kids.
Yeah. Meanwhile, and they love doing their little whines about, well, this is all for the children. We need more money for the children. I need a higher salary for the children. How's that help the kids? Well, I'll have nicer sheets and I'll get a better night's sleep so I can teach the kids better. And when I'm humping them, they'll like it. Fucking disgusting, degenerate shitbags. And look, guys, I realize not all teachers are like that, okay? But there's a big part of them who are. And this whole nonsense about censorship, okay? I don't believe in censorship for adults. But that's one of the privileges we get as adults. When it comes to children, there are things that are kid appropriate and things that are absolutely fucking not.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, kids should be able to get tattoos or mutilate themselves. And also, you don't want to show them horrifying pictures of Auschwitz, because their brain can't handle that because they're children. They're not developed enough. And this constant, adultizing of children really is some sort of pedo agenda, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh, it absolutely is. A lot of these people went through the college system where they took a psych class or two, Jack. They took some gender studies classes. They have to. It's part of the curriculum. That's part of your core experience at colleges. You got to get your either gender or ethnic studies bullshit in. And it's all the same shit.
Brainwashing.
This book, the one that we were just talking about, is written by this chick who has shaved the sides of her head, Jack. She just looks ridiculous. She has this big poof on the top of her head, and she's like, "Yes, this is appropriate for 8 to 15-year-olds or whatever the fuck she said." I think it's either 8 or 10. It's not appropriate for them, and if you think it is, you shouldn't be around kids.
Yeah, you don't understand child development at all.
Frankly, that's not, that book is not even appropriate for a sex ed class.
No,
it's
It's
kiddie
not doing
porn.
anything in a clinical way. It's porn.
It's fucking kiddie porn. You're writing porn for children. And never mind. We won't get through to them.
No, they're not going to listen to you because they're idiots and they're monsters. Thank you, Evolved Potato. They creep this pedo shit into sex ed things that kids should probably learn. Like, I'm fine with 10-year-olds learning what puberty is and the general things that happen to you during puberty, but they twist it into what it is now, disgusting perverts. Yeah, that's just it, though. They take something that is appropriate age information and they start inserting new things. And then they're like, how dare you? You just don't want kids to learn about sex. You're some sort of Puritan. No, it's not appropriate.
Yeah. There are things that you shouldn't be sure. And I know you know this. We saw that chick on the 5. Now, I'm not sure 12-year-olds can understand this. But here, let's show butt fucking and explain what it is. Let's explain how to slowly insert the penis into the anus so that it's not too painful. That way, when they do it to kids in the school, the kid knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Sex ed is a biology lesson, not a kink seminar. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a how-to. That's not what sex ed is. It should be explaining what sex is in general terms, the consequences of sex, the possible consequences of sex, not Not this is how you scissor somebody. Fuck. These are kids, man. Here's a shocker. Trans-identified male removed from female homeless shelter after sexually harassing, threatening staff. Remember, trans-identified male is a trans woman. So this is a man dressed as a woman.
You don't even need to dress that way anymore. You can just be like, I'm a woman.
True. Okay, so a man who claims to be a woman. How about that?
Yeah.
It just because they're using this phrasing, I really hate this phrasing because I just learned how to get trans woman and trans man correct.
I know, right? But they always change definitions as soon as we learn them.
I get what they're going for here. It's more truthful, but damn. A trans-identified male was removed from the female unit of a homeless shelter in Brighton after sexually harassing staff and suggesting that he had only transitioned in order to see women in intimate situations. I heard that never happens.
Only happens when I use the women's restroom at Target.
I heard that nobody is a fucking pervert and will peep on somebody because you made it easy to get into their safe spaces.
Look, people are innocent, wholesome creatures.
They talk a lot about safe spaces, but shouldn't a bathroom be one of them? An actual one?
No, that's where sexy time happens, apparently.
Chloe Dove, formerly known as Trevor Parnham, had police called on him by staff at St. Patrick's Night Hostel in Brighton and Hove after subjecting two staff members to threats and sexually abusive language and behavior. According to Brighton and Hove News, which referred to Dove using she, her pronouns, a victim impact statement was read in court in which one male staff member said Dove had admitted to registering as female at the hostel because he wanted to see hot toddy.
That's such a British thing.
Fuck. The British slang typically refers to sexually attractive women. I thought she registered as female because she felt more comfortable with women, the staff member said, also using female pronouns to refer to Dove. But she told staff it was because she wanted to see hot toddy. Staff member Barney Osborne said Dove told him he would follow him wherever he went, leaving him feeling too threatened to use public transport or get to work. Another staff member, caseworker Francesca Getty, told the court that Dove had asked her to inspect his genitals for health reasons. Later admitted he'd actually requested the inspection for his own sexual gratification. Really?
Well, I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
Dove, 48, frequently made sexual comments towards Getty and once claimed to be suicidal. So Getty would agree to meet with him just to begin discussing his sexual preferences. Yeah, you got a pervert. Nobody would ever do this. There's no perverts out there, Jack. The perverts don't exist.
Nope, that's a right-wing talking point. It's a myth, like Antifa.
Stop letting these guys go into women's spaces. All right. And you know what? I'm sure there's some actually dysphoric people, and that's going to suck for them.
Yeah.
But y'all let it get ruined. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to filter out the peds, because if you don't, it's going to destroy your entire progress of your movement. That's all there is to it.
And frankly, the movement doesn't need any more progress.
Yeah.
In fact, it needs scaled back a little bit, because now you guys are a protected class. Which nobody should be. Sorry.
No.
Nobody should be above reproach, Jack.
Yeah, well, here we are.
Rand Paul's office building catches fire one day after referring Fauci for prosecution.
What?
Whether it's pure coincidence or an act of arson, two possible explanations. Senator Rand Paul's office was burned in a fire that broke out in Bowling Green, Kentucky on early Friday morning. The fire follows one day after the Kentucky senator referred Dr. Anthony Fauci, former director of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Disease, for prosecution to the Department of Justice, which won't do a fucking thing because they are, well, in the pocket of the deep state.
Corrupt.
As the sun rose, you got a little truth stuck in your throat.
I know. It happens every now and then. I feel bad.
It sucks when it does, right?
Yeah.
And when truth gets stuck in your throat, you got to get it out. It'll just bother you until you do.
Yeah, it forcefully makes its way out somehow.
Yeah. As the sun rose in Bowling Green, its rays trickled through gray smoke billowing from the rooftop of the building that contains Paul's office, Carrick Batchert's law firm, and Design Tees. I like spell design with a Z. You fuckers. You assholes. Emergency services got to the fire at around 1:45 a.m. per a representative from Bowling Green Fire Department. Katie McKee, spokesman for the Bowling Green Fire. That's bad writing.
That's very bad writing.
It's very bad writing. Katie McKee, spokesperson for. She's a spokeswoman. All right.
So spokeslady, thank you.
She's a bonus hole haver.
Spokes bonus.
Spokes bonus hole for the Bowling Green Fire Department confirmed that no one was hurt in the incident. As reported by Bowling Green Daily News, a total of 9 teams responded to the fire. This comprises approximately 31 personnel. 2 deputy chiefs, a fire chief Justin Brooks of Bowling Green, were also on the scene to supervise the response.
That's a big fucking fire.
Yeah. Several hefty. Well, did you see the building?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And they're having to go in from the top because it's burning on the roof.
Like, nothing to see here. This is pure coincidence, monkey.
Yeah. Look, sometimes fires just break out in the middle of the night in brick buildings that house a law office. I mean, maybe Design Tees cause it. Maybe they left a shirt printer going.
I doubt it. Those machines are way too expensive to leave that shit running.
All right. Nobody got hurt. Rand Paul said he was thankful for it. And yeah, I'm glad nobody got hurt there. But it could be a coincidence.
It could be.
Could be.
Also, it could have been mistaken for a food processing plant.
It could have been. They might have thought they had some chickens in there or something.
Yeah, the spontaneous combustion kind of chickens.
Or there's an Antifa shitbag out there who's celebrating with his friends right now.
Yeah, because how dare they go after Lord and Savior Fauci?
Fauci should be in prison, man.
For a lot of reasons, apparently.
That motherfucker lied under oath repeatedly to Rand Paul.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, it's not gonna matter. He's gonna retire and go off into obscurity where he should have stayed in the first fucking place.
Mm-hmm.
It bothers me that, I mean, he'd been there. He'd been in government for what, 50 years?
Something ridiculous like that, yeah.
Director of NIH. Well, what do we call it now? NIAIDS, whatever.
Something.
For like 30, 40 years, some stupid shit like that. This guy's been out there directly. I saw some people giving Trump some shit for putting Fauci in charge of the pandemic response. Well, I mean, that's the person who should be. And Trump just went with what experts were saying. And, you know, maybe you can criticize him for that, but we should have been able to count on Fauci. But he's a little fucking terror gnome who is more interested in being on television than doing the job right. And if anybody paid attention, he shouldn't have been in that job anyway. At one point, he thought AIDS might have been airborne.
Yeah, and he went to a bathhouse to watch gay dudes. It's kind of weird.
I mean, the guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he also may have funded a lot of the problems that we had.
Well, look, there's no question about the fact Fauci, doing it through another company so he could say, I didn't do it, funded research that we don't allow in the United States.
Yeah, it's highly illegal.
There's no question about it. He absolutely did it, and his ass should be in prison for it. Fuck him.
Yep, especially because he knew the risks of gain of function and has stated on the record he doesn't care. He thinks it's worth it.
Yep, and he didn't talk about that a whole lot, did he?
Nope.
He knew gain of function was being done at that lab, and he tried to destroy a man. It did destroy a man's career who was like, I think this came from the lab.
Yeah.
Went out there and fucking destroyed his career because if it did come from that lab, there's blood on Fauci's hands.
Yep. And he doesn't want to be held accountable because he's our Lord and Savior. He is the science, in fact.
And that shit 100% came from that fucking lab. I'm sorry, you're not going to convince me it didn't because, well, I'm not stupid.
I do not understand what you are referring to, stranger I met on the internet.
I'm fairly certain on YouTube we're allowed to admit that now because pretty much everyone else has.
Oh, well, that's never stopped them before.
Except, to be fair, except for there's still one motherfucker who's holding out. I forget his name. He's like, no, it still doesn't look man-made to me. I mean, yeah. It's ridiculous watching him try to defend his stupid ass stance. And like literally there have been no cases that they can trace to that wet market. None. They can't find any trace. The one trace they found was probably from after they cleaned the place.
Yeah. It was probably somebody that worked at that lab.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do know the people at the lab got very sick right before it breaks out.
Oh, hate fact. That's so inconvenient to be true.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
Well,
Just a big fucking coinky dink.
Yeah.
If I can't trust them to tell me the truth about that, and you know what? There's still a 1 in a billion chance it came from a pangolin or a pachyderm or something from that fucking wet market. But it didn't. And I'm supposed to take your word for the rest of the shit you're saying. Yeah, fuck right off. Anyway, we got a video here. I have not seen this one, Jack. That is a dude.
Yes.
That is a man, as Magog would say. You ain't even passing, honey. God damn. All right.
This is what I mean when the transphobia just comes out.
It wasn't transphobia. That was me noticing. Just for the record.
They heard us. Oh.
And what she's responding to is on the screen. It says, damn cis women can't have a damn thing, not even something as annoying as periods. And apparently that's transphobia coming out.
The audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods.
They own it, monkey. They own that shit.
The audacity. I think the word you're looking for is the biology.
I think the word you were looking for is caucasity.
The biology that they own periods, you fucking weirdo. You know, Jack, this whole trans women can have periods thing is really, really new. It's like within the last 6 months. The last time that we saw trans people could have periods, it was trans men complaining that they can have periods, so we have to have tampons in men's rooms. Because maybe a chick dressed like a guy with a puberty beard might come in one time while they're on the rag.
Yeah, I just assumed there were a lot of people putting tampons in their butt.
I fucking hate this world.
Forget, how dare cis women suffer like that? Yeah, see, that's their woman privilege. They're trying to keep it for themselves against other non-men.
Dude, I'm gonna bring her up again. This girl I used to work with, one of my favorite employees.
Did she have a bonus hole?
What's it? What?
Did she have a bonus hole?
Yes.
Oh,
a real woman. She had cysts that would pop up on her ovaries and her uterus, and they were painful. And she would get her period, and she could barely walk. Why do you want to
show off?
Why do you want to steal that? Why is that something you want? She had to have her insides removed in her 30s, Jack. She barely hit 30, and they just did like, yeah, you're not going to be able to have kids. We'll just take this out to stop that suffering for you.
Damn, that sucks.
And you're fucking bitch ass sitting there with a dick trying to pretend you have a period. I sometimes I get shit and it backs up, and there's some cramps. Fuck you. God damn.
That they own womanhood.
They do.
You don't.
Yes.
Okay, you don't own periods. You don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person.
You just don't understand her periods, monkey.
Periods are different for every woman. Like that one woman I was just talking about, she like the worst I've ever even heard of. And then there's others who it's just like, it's inconvenient. Don't get a lot of cramping. It's just they got to deal with the flow, right?
Yeah.
Men, those of us born without uteruses, we don't have a period at all.
You know, your uterus-free shaming is really offensive to the community here, monkey. Just because they don't have a uterus installed in them doesn't mean they can't experience the shedding of its lining.
Tyshawn, thanks so much. He says, totally not a fetish. Am I right? Yeah. That's what totally it is.
Yeah, this is LARPing. The worst kind, too, because not only are they playing at the mantle of womanhood, they're also playing at the mantle of dysphoria. It's disgusting. It's just like when the DID kids do it.
Is it really any different than them telling us men can have babies because a trans man will get pregnant and have a kid
with their female parts?
Yeah.
No, it's the same nonsense. They want everybody in on their little game, and I'm telling you that the blowback is just going to hurt all of the LGBT. It's going to affect everybody, especially people with dysphoria, and it's already, you can see, affecting the lesbian and gay community too, because support for them has been dropping for the last few years.
What we really need is women to stop supporting this shit. Ladies, I know you in the audience are smart, okay? So please understand, I'm not talking about all women, because I've said many times, and I believe this, there are smart women out there. But it's the women who are supporting this. They're the ones who have built this shit up. You guys are the ones. It's your goddamn compassion. And men, stop letting them get away with it. This is nonsense. This is absolutely nonsense. And anybody who tells you a biological man can have a period is a fucking retard. And they should be told, you're a fucking retard.
Biology, the science of hate.
It's false compassion, though. It's not false compassion. It's not. They really do. Believe me, I know women like this. This is why I can say this. And I trust that they're not full of shit. That they honestly, though, these people are suffering. Why? What does it matter if this helps them? Because it's bullshit. That's why. And that's where men and women should complement each other. Women, you have the compassion, and sometimes we need tempered with that. Sometimes men need to be told, you know what, this one, let that one go. And sometimes women need to be told, stop it. You're being stupid.
Yeah, you're taking compassion a little too far.
We should complement each other. And that's gotten all out of whack. It's gotten all out of whack. Anyhow.
But as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you. So you can't gatekeep it. Like, hello?
like it's a video game franchise, like it's Star Wars. They're gatekeeping it. They're not gatekeeping it. They're simply mentioning biology. That's all it is. If you're having cramps, it's not period cramps. You probably need to poop. That's it. You'll feel better. Go squeeze one out. You'll be all right. Nature's gatekeeping it. Yes, exactly.
Stupid nature gatekeeping. Thank you, Evolved Potato. You know, if trans women want to experience period cramps, I volunteer for punching them in the pelvis for a week straight once a month. Who's with me? Well, that's a service you could provide. That is fair. And that you could even sell them hot water heaters, or the water heating pads. That's what they're called.
Jennifer asked. Oh, sorry.
No, it's just a supplementary income stream.
Can we shut down TikTok? That will solve a lot of this. There would be no outlet for it. No, you're wrong, because we shut down Tumblr.
Yeah, and look where they went. They went to Twitter and TikTok. A new thing will always come up. They'll just appropriate it because that's what they do.
They will find a way.
And real quick,
look, real quick, you have lesbian dating apps now that are kicking off lesbians because they put in their profile they don't want a dick on their partner.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Travis Gardner. Last argument with my wife was about the pregnant men. It ended with me loudly saying, "Knock me up, Robin. Put a baby in me," at Chili's. That sounds like something I'd say at Chili's too. So I'm with you on that one.
Have your wife listen. Have your wife listen. You know what? Have her come on. I'll talk to her.
I believe this is his ex-wife.
Have her come on. I'll talk to her. Because this shit needs explained. Because these people just don't get it.
Yeah, we'll just call that 2 hours of monkey making a woman cry.
Yep. But at the end, she'll have to admit I was right. Because you can argue with science, Jack. You can't argue with science. It's the point of science. But there are parts of it that we can repeat over and over. And one of those is that women have the babies, women have the periods, and men can't do that shit. It's not possible. Anyhow.
Have you seen these videos? Because I wasn't sure if you'd seen these or not.
No. That one I haven't seen, and this one I haven't seen, and I don't know what the third one is. So
You're good. This is a delight. This is my favorite one.
The one with the painting on the face.
Yeah, Travis said he sent her a link in Monkey's Twitter.
Nice. How do I become a counselor there for next? This is a kids camp.
Yes, this is a camp counselor.
And they have the
kids camp. I bet Lindsay runs this.
And they have the trans flag painted on their face.
No, this is a gay kids camp.
They are coming for your children.
And in many cases, they've already got them.
Sometimes they're coming in your children.
Okay, so a big, if not the biggest question that we've been getting is, how do you become a counselor at a queer summer camp?
Sorry, Jack, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
The easy answer is there's an application that goes online in like April, and then they interview you and then you get hired. What I think is important to note is that I swear it was harder to get hired here than it was to get into grad school. Not only did we have to like build and design unique and original workshop content, I'm doing 3 on blackout poetry, flash fiction, and trans masculinity.
Useful skills in life, not like how to make a dream catcher, which teaches you some basic skills of assembly, or like how to start a fire. No, we got blackout poetry, trans masculinity, and whatever the other one nonsense bullshit was.
Devil's Advocate says you send proof of being on a sex offender list.
Probably.
Oh fuck.
Campers get here this afternoon.
You can apply it. Oh.
But I've been here for 3 days. We've had anti-racism and anti-bias training and mental health screenings, neurodiversity training, way more.
Neurodiversity is not a thing. Please stop saying that stupid shit.
Remember, this is the training that counselors are getting.
Yep, I know.
So that's it's like you're already programmed, but they want to indoctrinate you just a bit more.
Retard training. Yes, well put, Faithless.
Yeah, how to apply the Vaseline appropriately.
than I've ever done for public education because we take the health, safety, and growth of these kids very seriously.
You shouldn't have a camp for gay kids. They're kids.
Yeah. And most of them are probably under 12, let's be honest.
I am surrounded by some of the most capable people I've ever met. We're here to support future queer leaders, and they need guidance that knows what they're doing. And will I be in drag for a significant portion of the week? Also, yes. Okay, so
that person's hard drive needs checked.
Absolutely. And,
And
they should probably spy on the camp too.
probably not even their hard drive. It's probably right there on their iPhone.
Yeah. All their devices need checked.
Jesus Christ, man.
Everything done at this camp needs oversight from covert ops because there's some sketchy shit going on. I guarantee it.
Where's 21 Jump Street when you need them?
Right?
All right. Oh, God bless, man. Good God. What is this one? Oh, wow. I'm not going to be mean because I don't know if this has anything to do with what she's about to say or not, but wow, Jack, when I was growing up, and we lived in Chicago, one of our neighbors, we called her Miss Cookie. She was built just like this. She was the sweetest woman you ever met. She was nice as hell, but I don't imagine she made it much over 45. All right.
I worked at a homeless shelter and came out as a she, they, non-binary, gender fluid individual. I told them she, they. It's no longer she, her, she, they. And then I was fired. I worked at a homeless...
Yep, you're a hassle. Bye.
It's no, I'm so tired of the pronoun thing.
I know. It is such a red flag too to every employer that I'm sure most of them have figured it out now. You got these pronouns on your resume, or you start spewing them, you're probably going to try and sue us at some point. You're going to be a hassle. You're going to get us sued, or you're going to sue us.
Yep. I saw somebody ask on Twitter, what would you do if somebody asked you for your pronouns? And Jack, I would really, really like to go back to my elementary school and get the English book where they taught us pronouns and just get a printout of the pages where they did that so I could hand it to people. I'm a man. You should be able to figure out my pronouns. We've talked before, they want you to be able to look at somebody, black person, and know their whole life experience. Can't do that. You know what I can do? Look at you and know what your pronouns should fucking be.
You mean your pronouns assigned at birth?
I don't have my own pronouns. I have the same ones that were assigned to all men using the English language.
What? The language of colonialism?
I fucking hate these people.
Yeah, they're cultists. This is some sort of bizarre, slow death cult.
My daughter sent me a picture. I should have loaded it up on Twitter so we could share it. But it says over the person, it's got writing on it. It says it needs attention, and then there's a pill bottle that says they them.
Yeah, I saw that one.
See, I told you there's smart women out there. My daughter sent me that.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. She got a pronoun under each fold. Indeed. She just and he. That's a dude, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that was a dude. It's no longer she, her. I'm sorry. It's no longer she, her. It's she, they.
I think
Look,
that was an actual woman, but I can't tell anymore.
Just because you're that fat doesn't mean you get to claim to be more than one person. The only time you can do that is when you're buying an airline ticket. That was funny. There should be people laughing.
Thank you, Keldrick. It's harder to get in here than grad school, I believe. Grad school will let anyone in. You got to be fucked up to get in here.
Right? Yeah, I'm assuming that was a dude, man.
Her pronouns are she, moo.
Let me see that again. Maybe that is a chick. Maybe that is a chick. No. I'm telling you, I'm thinking, dude, I got to bring it back on the screen. We got to examine this person closely.
I think that's because the way they carry their fatness, that looks like a woman. That looks like that Amberlyn Reed fat.
I hear you, but I have seen dudes like this, and those don't look like fat titties. Those look like man titties.
Well, fat people all kind of mush together, very Pat-like, you know? It's Pat. It's the boy, it's the girl.
I don't know. And I mean, there's something about the head that says man to me as well. And you know what? I'll be honest, Jack. I'm glad that sometimes I guess that an actual woman is a man, because it means I'm hypersensitive to that, and I will never accidentally grab male genitals when I'm reaching for female ones.
Well, that you probably shouldn't be reaching for randos anyway.
No, I you know, theoretically, if it ever could happen, you know, I'm just saying. It's kind of like I tend to always guess that women are younger than they are, and if I were on the dating scene, that would keep me from, you know, because everybody looks like 15 to me unless they're in their 30s.
Yeah, I just asked for ID.
So I'm never going to catch a charge or a dude. So, I mean, I'm just overly cautious. I still say that's a dude. It looks like Wayne I went to school with way back in fourth grade.
Yeah, either way, I'm not touching it. So
yeah. But
if I see that thing lumbering around at Golden Corral or some other buffet, I'm just gonna leave, because there's not gonna be any food left, and I don't want it trying to eat me if it runs out.
Yeah, you want to go somewhere there's a salad bar so that you know you can still eat.
Yeah, you could graze a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll leave you some cheese or something too.
Well, they ain't gonna touch the lettuce, I promise. Not unless it's on a cheeseburger.
Probably some of the like low fat, you know, ranch.
Yeah. The real ranch will be gone. They'll drink that shit like a milkshake.
Yeah, it'll be their Dunkin' bowl, and you might get some like light French or light ranch, and then there'll be like a couple of scraps of things, like 1 or 2 eggs they missed when they thought they were like candy eggs.
I'm fairly certain we talked about it the other day, but it was asked on Twitter, you know, what would you do if you were hiring somebody and they put their pronouns on their resume? This is the person that you're going to hire. It's just going to get worse.
Yep.
And they're going to come in day after day with something new because they need that attention.
Yeah, they need constant validation.
Thank you, Tyshawn. There's a joke I like to tell sometimes. When someone says my pronouns are they, them, 9 times out of 10, they're a woman. Yeah.
Well, even if they're not biologically a woman, they're not a man. It might be male.
Well, what happens is the men want the she, her.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they want to be that woman, because it is a fetish. And hashtag not all. We have, you know, I do believe dysphoria is a thing, and again, fucking horrible. Can't imagine.
Oh yeah, that's horrifying.
But the other 20% that have popped up are fucking bullshit. They're just attention seekers.
Yeah, it's a fad, and they know they can get attention. We have a lot of attention-starved people in the world, apparently.
Oh, you know what? I didn't retweet this one, but I do want to talk about it. It was a lesbian, and she said she told her friends that she was getting back into the dating market.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted their opinion. And one of them told her, you should put in your dating profile that you got 2 kids. And she said, I got mad at them because that wasn't their place to tell me. I stop right there. You asked them for their opinion.
Yeah. Plus, that is kind of important too.
Well, this is what she goes on to say. She goes, of course, I will tell a partner that I have kids. After we've been dating for a year.
A year? You're going to hide kids for... No, those are my porters. They carry my baggage around. They work here. Those are my roommates. They're just midgets.
Well, She says, I wouldn't want to be with anybody that wouldn't date me because I have kids. Wouldn't it make sense then to put that in your fucking profile so they'd stay away from you?
It would, unless you're just looking to hook up.
Or like we've seen with some of the trans stuff, you want to get them hooked before you drop the bomb.
Yep.
You get them to fall in love with you, and then that way they can excuse your baggage. And I don't mean to call kids baggage, but she clearly sees them as such.
That they are. Let's be honest. Kids are the porters. They carry the baggage.
And it's not even necessarily the kids, but if there's kids, there's a daddy somewhere.
Yep, there's a dad somewhere, and his level of involvement matters, because then you got to deal with all the drama that comes with having the dad around. Not only did they used to fuck, which is an issue, they've got these kids together, so he's going to want to be involved and go to special events. Sometimes there's a limit on how many parents can be there. So are you going to get excluded? Do you take turns? Does he want to give up his parental rights? Are you going to be able to adopt the kid? There's a whole litany of problems that come with the dad being in the picture.
Yeah, what happens if you end up with one of Ethan Ralph's exes?
Yeah, like you need to know what kind of degenerate scumbag just popped a load in your new whore. I mean, a special lady. There's a lot of things like that. Plus, what if the kid's special needs? That makes a big difference.
It does. Real quick, Evolved asks or says, if they're under 25 dating and has kids, it's kind of a red flag. For the record, these are the ages I know. She's 34, and the friend of hers who told her that she should tell people about her kids is 29. And if I remember correctly, she even says she doesn't have kids. That's not the issue. You asked her for her opinion, fucker.
Yeah.
Can you, as somebody with kids, if I got into dating when my kids were young, I can't imagine not letting people know up front I got kids.
That's a major part of your life, or at least it should be.
Should be, unless they're an accessory to you, which unfortunately for a lot of people, kids are.
Yeah, I could understand if you don't have custody, it makes it a little bit different, and you should say, "I have kids; they just don't live with me." But if you have kids living in your house, there's no excuse for holding that back.
Faithless says kids are first date or even before info. They are profile info.
Yeah.
That shit should be on your profile. I got kids. Otherwise, you're lying. And you're lying.
You're being deceptive, and that is not a good way to start a relationship. You can't build on a foundation of lies.
Can you imagine you're dating a woman for a fucking year, and then out of nowhere she pops, I have 2 kids.
Honestly, if you're legitimately dating her, there's no way she's gonna be able to hide that. You're gonna go over to her house, you're gonna see their toys, you're gonna see pictures. There's
not if she never lets you come to the house.
Yeah, and that's a massive red flag.
Sure.
If you don't do things together often enough that you're like over at her house or something, at least occasionally, that's really weird to me.
Well,
there's just no way.
Her reasoning is, I forget it exactly, but something to the effect, not for the kids' sake. Because that's what I was expecting. I was expecting her to say, I don't want these kids to get attached and then it doesn't work out. After a year, obviously, we're going to work out. No, it wasn't that. It was, I got to know how they treat me for a year before I'll introduce them to my kids.
Well, you don't have to introduce them to your kids on the first date or anything, but they should be aware that you have them.
Yeah. That's some information you should be sharing.
Yeah. It's like hiding a hunchback. No, that's kind of an important piece you got to tell people about.
Unless they're twins, they can't be yours. What did I miss? Once I got custody of my kids at 7, the number of women I dated was 0. She's 23 now. After all that time I spent not dating, I like my freedom. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could date if I had kids. And it would be a protective thing. Like I don't want people I don't know around my kid. Now, maybe if it was something like, you fell in love at the office and you knew the chick for a couple of years and suddenly you were like, yeah, I want to go out. But just like on a dating profile kind of thing, I would almost be weary of anybody who's like, oh, you got kids? I want to hang out.
Yeah, that's creepy.
I mean, I get, that there'll be some who are like, I just don't care. I want to meet you and the kids. I understand you have them. So yeah, I know that exists, but there could also be the ones who just got attachment issues and really want a kid. And yeah, I don't need that in my life. Anyhow, I'm glad we're on the same page on that one because I thought that bitch sounded fucked up.
Right? Real quick, I got a couple things here. First, thank you, number 2. I'm surprised they don't just count the kids as a bonus hole. Well, we didn't say they were in education.
True.
So maybe. You never know. People are fucking degenerates these days, apparently. And thank you, Frosted Glass. Whenever I'm on a date, the first thing I say is I have kids, but then I tell her it won't be an issue unless she plans on riding in the trunk. Always good to talk about your hobbies on a date. And you got to remember, like, oh, don't worry, we don't go to the cemetery very often.
Mess says it was a joke when she surprises you with 2 kids after 1 year. Fair enough. But wouldn't you be like, they're not mine? Or it's like they're lesbians. That would mean she was cheating. How do you date somebody for a year? Your kids have a birthday. Both of them got birthdays in this time, and you haven't introduced this person or even mentioned them? Wouldn't even tell him, is what she said. Wouldn't even tell him for a year. Anyway, with that, guys, man, this one went 3 hours. It was a fun show. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you so much for the donations. Really do appreciate it. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop a link to a video that came out today. Mr. E said next week he turns 50. Don't forget to remind us, dude. We'll sing for you. But yeah, thank you so much for the tips / donation thingies. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for chatting with us. You guys are awesome, and we love interacting with you.
Yeah, guys. Appreciate you coming back. I know we missed yesterday's show. Don't want to talk about it. I'll tell you offline, Jack. Nothing real bad, just my body. I'm going to be over on Ranting Monkey Games here in just a little bit, playing some 7 Days to Die. We did some really fun Phasmophobia the other day. It's been a while since I've actually gotten scared in that game, Jack.
Yeah.
And it's like the developers are like, oh yeah, bitch. Several jump scares that got me, and it was a lot of fun. So check that one out if you haven't, and then come over and watch the live one.
So you're saying everybody just heard the rustling of paper and you falling out of your chair going, ah!
No, what I usually do is go, Jesus fuck. That's my normal. Or fuck. Something like that, to that extent. It is a family channel. I just swear a lot.
Like a kid-friendly drag show.
Dude, I grew up in a Navy household. I heard all of these words before I was 5.
Yeah, I heard a lot of fun words when my dad would work on the car and stuff like that. That he would never say around my mother. Yeah,
absolutely. So I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, you can never swear around a kid. I swear. I try not to as much as I can. But I think I turned out pretty well.
Sure.
Thanks for going with me on that. A pleasure as always, my friend.
Oh, always glad to be here, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all next time. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
If you're a man, you can't bleed from your crotch. And if you are, you should see a doctor. You're just a fucking freak who wants to be noticed. And I hope you get kicked in the balls till you bleed.